already lost the match. Apart from car 11, they have won the match against Malaysia. So it'll be a very good contest. If Nepal Police wins this match, this group is wide open.
Yeah, well, indeed. And actually, looking back at that, the first game of the competition was very tight, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Indeed. And it was the car 11 who actually succeeded in beating Malaysia, and that was the Malaysian 11, and that was a good scalp. Bear in mind, Malaysia, of course, as a national side, are ranked 33 in the world. That was an upset on day one.
Yes, exactly. The Malaysian, apart from Virender Singh and Muniandi, none of the batsmen could score.
Fantastic, Paresh. Thank you very much for that. And let's just have a little look at the pitch now. We've had a couple of days on the surface. And what we do know is that runs are pretty hard to come by. These are a typical kind of pitch you'd find in the region, really. Not a great deal of grass, of course. And just looking at that, it's a fairly dry surface. We've seen it take, turn and bounce through the course of the 2 days thus far. The other thing, of course, is actually we've seen a little bit of bounce and a little bit of assistance for the seamers. But the big people who've really prospered on this surface, Paresh, has been the left armers, haven't it? The left armers against the right-handers has been the combination through the course of this tournament.
Yes, exactly. It looks a very dry pitch. It will definitely turn. And even the medium pacers, if they mix the ball, if they bowl leg cutters or off cutters, it'll be very hard to bat against them, provided that the length is the key.
Yeah, length is absolutely the key. And what we've actually found with the pitch so far through the course of this competition is if you're short and really short, you can almost play it off the front foot because it sits up. And we've seen the ball dispatched on both sides of the wicket, actually through square leg, of course, up and over mid-wicket as well. And if it's short on the offside, it's been laced through the offside as well. And if it's full, of course, you can punch down the ground. But if you can drop it in that 6 metre length, as you discussed on that first day, Paresh, you really do get results.
Yeah, even the fast bowlers, Karan Casey is in the Nepal side. If he hits the deck, it's pretty hard to bat. The ball jumps around. So he needs to assess the pitch. While going to bowl, he needs to look at the pitch. It's pretty dry up there. A big sunshine there. And the batters as well. The very good example is Rohit Paudel, how he assessed the pitch yesterday. 80 not out of 57 balls.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at the pictures of the Cricket Association of Rupinder Hay, who are over there just waiting to bat. And one thing we have seen, Paresh, through the course of this game is that runs are hard to come by. The highest score so far in this competition is 139 that was set in the second game yesterday. So we've talked about the fancy land of being 150, but if you're north of 130, Paresh, you're very much in the game.
Yes, exactly. This is the fifth game. The 4 games that we've seen, 130 odd is a par score till now. Let's see what's the score the CAR 11 is going to get on the scoreboard today.
Yes, and of course, just looking at the Nepal Police Club and how they've gone in this competition, they were very unlucky. They were involved in an epic game against the sports club, the Push Sports Club of Delhi. They lost by 1 run, and in very, very, very dramatic circumstances. They need 19 off the last over. They started off with a 4, then a 6, then a 6, 3. Then became 3 off 3 was, I think, the dynamic at that stage. And then Gulshan Jai, unfortunately, who was the star of the show up until this point, we thought he had the game in the bag, fell. And at that point, the Push Sports Club Delhi came out as the winners. Fascinating contest. So they'll be right in this, Paresh, you feel?
Yes, exactly. And that reminded us of West Indies and England final, T20 finals, where they needed 6 runs. In 6 balls, they needed around 24 runs.
19 it was.
Yeah, and Brathwaite hit 4 consecutive 6s. Ben Stokes was the bowler.
Broke my heart, Paresh. It broke my heart. But yes, it's a very similar scenario. And I mean, what a game it was. Fantastic. But as we see the 2 teams who are there on the outfield, and they'll be coming on in a second. The match time is due to start, well, in around about 3 minutes' time. So they're just going through their final process. Yeah, just having a look at the sides out there. And both the main thing, the big thing that both sides have, Paresh. Oh, look. Now, what's that? A bird of prey, I assume. Wow.
I think that's an eagle.
An eagle?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, picking up the carcasses of yesterday's commentary from me, Paresh, I'd imagine. But, yeah, here come the umpires. And they're out today. And the umpires today are Vinay Kumar, who will be up at the market end, and Imadin Hawaii, who's at the pavilion end. And on the third and TV umpire, it's Manjul Batua, and Maji Laj Sharma, who's the fourth umpire. And our match referee or match official today is Satya Jit Sarkar as well. So those are all our match officials. And out will come the Nepal Police Club, who will be taking the field. And of course, batting first today will be the CAR 11. And opening the batting for the CAR 11 will be Dev Kanal, who batted pretty well actually in the first game. Picked up 22 opening the batting. And Prajol Thapa as well will be opening the batting. And he got 38 actually. He's one of the highest scorers in their first match. So the two of them had posted a pretty good total. In fact, actually, yeah, they got the power play off to a really good start in that first game. 59 coming off the power play, and these two put on 52. So they've got two experienced players in this competition thus far, Paresh.
Yes, they have, but Nepal Police, it's a very must-win match for them to stay in the groove here. If they lose this match, they have to depend on other results.
Yeah, they do indeed, and that is the big equation. And we'll just have a look who's going to be opening the bowling up at the far end.
Karan Casey, the dynamo, the Valentine boy, like Andrew says.
The Valentine boy, indeed. Karen Casey. Yeah, what is the Valentine story, Paresh?
Karan Casey recently took a T20 international hat-trick, and for Nepal, he's the first Nepali to do that in T20 international, and took a fifer that game.
Yeah, fantastic.
And he's the reason why Nepal got the ODI status. Then it was the last wicket partnership with Sandeep Lamichhane.
Amazing. What an amazing story.
Against Canada, he hit huge sixes. I think he scored 40-odd runs to get his team through and get the ODI status.
Yes, indeed. Karen Casey, an absolute legend in Nepal. Wonderful to see him take place in this fancy Okada Pro Club Championship. So here we are, day number 3, match number 5, CR11 versus Nepal Police Club. Taking the new ball will be the legendary Karen Casey. And Dev Kanal, who went pretty nicely on the first day with 22 in that partnership. Big partnership. They got big runs in that first power play. 59 runs coming from it. The biggest power play we've had in the tournament so far. It'll be interesting to see if they go again.
And welcome again in the Johnny, Tony and Lenny show.
Great to have Tony alongside me. We'll come to that story again in a bit. Straight on the money and a quick single.
Yeah, very good running there between the wickets. The fielder there, he threw the ball like a bullet. The keeper did a very good job just to get the hand to it.
Yeah, overthrows would have been a raw start. That brings on to strike Prajol Thapa, who batted very, very fluently and really, well, he really gave the momentum of the innings actually. 38 in that first game with that powerful power play. Good little right-hander. Wedged down through third man. That'll be the first boundary of the day. Just offering outside the off stump was Karen Casey, but you'll take the boundary.
Yeah, Karan Casey, he should not ball away from the stumps. He should ball stump to stump, and look at that. I think he deliberately played that shot.
Yeah, I think I'm doing Prajol Thapa a huge disservice. That was very well played, Paresh, as you quite rightly pointed out. Just nudging that through the third man region.
Feel for Karan Casey is there's a floating slip and a gully. Backward point, cover, mid off, mid on. A very good shot there. Didn't time it that well.
Yeah, lovely bit of batting. Just a push through the offside. And actually, what was impressive there is he waited for it, didn't he? Because at why he was going to look for something a little bit more extravagant, and that's where people have got in trouble, getting caught at backward point or in the cover region, because the ball has stopped a touch.
Yeah, that is, he just played the shot, didn't go full all along the ground, didn't get a 4 though, but took 3 runs. Very good running as well.
Wow, now that has hopped. That's hopped off well, back of a length and being generous perhaps there. Good morning.
Yes, exactly. Karan Casey bending his back. A very good bouncer. Right on the money.
Like this. Actually, the Pacers have got a bit of a return here. By the way, that has to be the first 3 of the competition. I haven't been keeping a great deal of attention, but that has to be the first 3. Again, just looking for the drive, but it's just not quite there, is it? Just not quite there for it.
Yeah, like we've said for the last 2 days, the ball is not coming onto the bat, so you have to play it late. He went for the shot. That is why he didn't time it. Lucky didn't go straight to the catch early.
Yeah, played it well. Back a length and a swing and a miss, Paresh.
Yeah, that was very close to the body to cut. I mean, you should have gone to the back foot and just punched the ball to the vacant area and taken the single.
End of the first over, decent start, 8 without loss. Well, Paresh, 8 as a tariff in the power play. You'd be happy with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, as a captain, I'll be extremely happy. If they go round about this for the 10 overs, 8 runs per over, 7 or 8 runs per over, then you'll have a base to attack in the last 5 overs without losing any wicket, without taking any risk.
Yes, indeed. And up from this pavilion end. Well, the man who almost took 19 off the final over to win that the second match of the first day, Gulshan Kumar Jai. Gulshan Kumar Jai will be the man who will bowl from this pavilion end.
He lost his run up there. Gulshan Jha, a very good cricketer, very good all-rounder, I must say. A good hitter of the ball as well.
Yeah, he almost timed his innings to perfection, didn't he, with the bat in that first dramatic game, or the first dramatic game that they played. Just missing out by 1 run in the end against... Yeah, indifferent bounce outside that off stump again.
Yes, I think it stayed a bit low and the batsman went to the back foot, whereas he had to come to the front foot and defend the ball or drive the ball.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy today. It'll be interesting to see how this pitch plays, but what it does give is some fairly tight, quite exciting cricket. When the boundary, you tend to find that the exceptional players have actually gone quite well on this surface because they just have a little bit more time than the rest of the mortals.
That is why I say you have to assess the pitch. Very well bowled and well played, I must say. Good cricket all round. Gulsanjah right on the money there.
Good, tight over. Thus far, very good indeed. Oh, he's bowled him. Oh, all ends up. Looking for the big, expansive drive on the offside. And, well, Prajol Thapa can't repeat his heroics on day number one. And he goes.
Gulsanjah cleaned him up. Very good delivery there. Right on the money. Prajol Thapa couldn't do much today. What a beauty of a delivery. Look at that. Slight movement outside the off stump. And off stump out of the ground.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it was a lovely bit of bowling. Kind of pitched on off stump and held its line, Paresh, as you said. It just offered to leave him. It wasn't the greatest shot at this stage, but it was full enough. You'd think the drive was on.
Yeah, that was full enough to drive, but the ball moved a bit after pitching and took the side of the off stump and the top of the off stump. Very good bowling there by Gulsanjah. Hats off to you.
Yeah. And the next man in will be Sandeep Rajali. He's in there as a result of Dev Kanal's off stumps being Prajol Thapa's off stump being rearranged. Johnny action again. Down leg side on that occasion. A little disappointing first up. Wide given.
He tried to go for a Yorker there, but the line was not right. A bit of off stump and would have probably bowled him, cleaned him up.
Yeah, Sandeep Rajali is the man who is taking strike. Sandeep Rajali batted very well in the first game. Very confident knock of 24 not out in the final stages with that 6 to win. It was a comfortable win really with 4 balls to spare.
And talking about Gulsanjah, his action looks very smooth and he uses his shoulder at the last moment of delivery.
Yeah, very talented all-rounder. 1 wicket in the piece already. Tight stuff, isn't it? And he's bowling to his field as well, which is impressive, Paresh. And, well, we've had the first wicket, 9 for 1 they are at the moment. Paresh, what do you feel they'll be looking for in this kind of power play? I mean, they batted very well first time round.
Well, the bowlers are bowling well in good areas in 6-meter lengths without giving any room to the batsman. That is the key for the fielding side, and that should be supported by the spinners as well. So CAR 11, they have a lot of things to do now.
Well, that's a good looking shot. That's a really lovely looking shot. That really is. Just tucking it off his hip, just straying onto leg side on that occasion. And that's a delicious looking strike on the offside, on the leg side.
You could see the timing on that shot. He didn't try to hit it hard. He just chapped the ball in the gap. Look at that shot. Only a short jab in between long on and mid wicket. Short mid wicket. Beautifully done by.
Yeah, 13 for 1 after 2 overs thus far. So going along at 6.5, and well, that's kind of the rate that we've seen through the course of this competition, really. Scores up and around 130 to 139, and lower, of course, across the 4 games thus far. Yeah, Karen KC will resume up at the market end. Just looking at the men out. Well, you think he might go back of a length here because you've got a man out on the onside, Paresh. Third man as well would indicate we might be going back of a length.
Dave Canal is going to face Karan Casey now. Casey,
It is short. Has this plan worked? Not quite. Wasn't a million miles away. Well, it was clear intention with that man back at third man and the deep square on the leg side. And it looks like we might see a bit of chin music.
If I was the captain then, I would have kept out the slip for this ball. Karan had a plan. He put the deep square leg and short fine leg, and I would have shifted the slip to mid wicket, short mid wicket.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable ploy, Paresh. Just marshalling his troops at the moment. Another short one. Now that's helped away on the onside, but there is a man back, of course. Very much the ploy here, isn't it? Use that kind of back of a length area where the ball is a little bit erratic in terms of bounce, Paresh.
Yeah, Rajali played that pretty well. He let the ball come to you and played that full shot off his hips.
Yeah, played it very nice. Dev Canal back on strike. Well, down the track, and what a shot that is, through extra cover. Beautiful bit of footwork. Latching onto the length ball outside the off stump and dispatched through extra cover.
I think Dev Canal was looking for that short ball. He was already ready to come down the track. See, ready to come down on the rise. Hits it to extra cover for 4 runs. Beautiful batting.
That's the best shot of the competition thus far. Because, as you say, he's taken that off a length. And he's made it by jumping down the track. What a bit of batting that is. Again, just had to wait on that. And that was, that's the mark of actually the decent bit of class, isn't it? Because the ball before he's prepared to dance down the track. On that, he didn't quite get there, and just opted to play it safe, and he pushing it out on the offside.
Yeah, that is the plan. That means the assessment that you do off the pitch.
A lovely change down. A little slower ball outside the off stump. Nice bit of skill from the bowler.
Yeah, that was slow ball off cutter. The batsman he didn't read the ball. Yeah, you should mix your pace. Variation is the key in such kind of a wicket. Karan Casey, 6 runs of 5 balls already in this over, in the 3rd over. His second.
Looking to come down the track again. And in the end, just trying to fish. Nice bit of work by Karen Casey to finish that over, I have to say. Mastery bowling from this hugely experienced player. And the CR11 are 19 for 1, and with 3 overs gone.
There's the batting card. Canal is not out for 6 of 9 balls. Thapa 7 of 5, and Rajali 4 of 5. Plenty of batting to come. Karel, Ahmad, Bushal, B. Casey, Gupta. Bowling line, look at that. Gulshan Jha 1 over, 5 runs, 1 wicket. Karan Casey, on the other hand, a touch expensive. 14 of 2 overs without a wicket. Gulshan Jha is going to continue from the pavilion end.
Just defending on the off stump. He's bowled pretty nicely. There's Gulshan Jha thus far in this game, and it's been a pretty tight affair as well. 19 for 1 after 6, so just going along at 6 and over. Sorry, 19 for 1 after 3.1 overs, going at 6 runs and over the rate.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by Gulshan Jha's bowling and batting as well. There's so much of youngsters come in to play cricket for the national side. Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, lovely bit of bowling. Just nipping one back. And Sandeep Rajali.
And see, look at the shoulder he puts in. Ooh, almost got the bails. Very good bowling. The length. I always talk about the length. 6 meter length. That is what he's bowling at. Consistently bowling at that length.
Yes, indeed. And he's cut him in half, effectively. It's a very nice bit of bowling from Gulshan Jha. That's played nicely. Down through third man, just waiting for it outside the off stump.
Yeah, again, the ball moved away from the batsman. Nicely played. Getting the ball down to the ground, all along the ground, to third man for a single.
Yeah, played it very well. It's just been these early sparring rounds here, just the two sides sort of feeling their way, aren't they? I think, I think the bowling's been pretty impressive thus far.
Amongst the 8 teams, 4 international teams and 4 home teams. Oh, beautifully done. Beautiful shot on. Extra by Kanal.
Yeah, what a shot by Dev Kanal. Beautiful bit of batting.
Yeah, that is what we talk about. I mean, if you are not getting any room, anything, just do something in the crease. Have a plan. That is what Kanal is doing. Coming down the track, getting to the pitch of the ball and driving it.
Yes, he's been very impressive because he's been prepared to use his feet against the quicker men on a surface that's offered a little bit of bounce. Very impressive batting and approach so far. Back of a length on this occasion and just catching him on the crease, looking to work it on the onside.
A very good comeback by Gulshan Jha. Like I said, the length and the variation. That these two are very important for a slow wicket like this.
Yeah, you want to keep away from the truly short ball, and you don't want to be in the slot, because those are two areas that have been latched on through the course of this tournament thus far. Just 5 runs off the over so far, 1 more ball to come. Played very sensibly, just down in the offside, looking for potentially for the quick single, but it wasn't really there. But again, it's a nice bit of batting in that over from Dev Kanal. And it's 24 for 1 after 4 overs. Yeah, just looking at that Nepal Police Club card. Gulshan Jar. 1 for 10 off 2 for going at 5s. Karen Casey, probably a fraction more expensive than he'd like, really. Going at 7s. Number 14 off 2.
Now time for the left armers, left arm orthodox, Sagar Dhakal. Now let's see what is the batsman approach and what is the bowler's approach.
Yeah, Sagar Dhakal bowled pretty well in the first round of matches. Just 1 for 32 off his 4 overs. Went to 8 and over, but his figures don't really do him justice. I thought he bowled extremely well in that first match. Back on day 1. He'll be operating up from the market end. To be honest, either end the left armers are enjoyed here because we're stuck in the middle of the oval, which is great. So pretty equal boundaries either side. There's no tangible advantage. The wind, I guess, coming from across us from right to left as we look out from this commentary box is one factor. So I guess as a left armour, you're kind of pushing it away into the wind against the right-hander.
A good start by Sagar Dhakal, bowling it stump to stump. I don't think there was a turn in there.
Yeah, I think what's been interesting is some have and some haven't, have they?
See again, no turn whatsoever. The ball going with the arm. He had a good flight on that.
Yeah, very flat. A little bit of flight. Against the wind, of course, so that the ball's going to dip fairly extravagantly.
Look at that drift. If that would have turned, it was very difficult for the batsman to play that shot, to play any shot flat. The ball was drifting so much, it went with leg stump.
And looking to cut off the back foot, wanted to go a little squarer. That's what he's practicing now, but ended up just sort of bunting it up to mid-off. Nice use of the feet, though.
What he can do is he can sweep the ball because it's not turning. He can go for a slog sweep or give himself room and hit it inside out. See, there's no turn whatsoever.
Well, he was pretty quickly onto the back foot there, wasn't he? But he just couldn't quite capitalise on the length on that occasion. Shy at the stumps, but nicely turned into the onside by Dev Canal.
A good piece of running by these two batsmen. The ball going straight to the fielder, but they were able to complete a single.
They perhaps the key that we've seen in this game so far is not to panic. The runs will come if you've got wickets in hand. Optimistic, Paresh. Optimistic, that one.
Yeah, he was going down to the leg side. Very optimistic, Sagar Dhakal. He's a really good character. You have to see when he takes a wicket, the celebration that he has. After 5, it's 26 for 1.
Yeah, it's the percentage shot, though, to be fair, because it's down the leg side, and looking to heave it up and over the onside is definitely the way to go. Pawan Saraf will be the next man to take the ball up from this pavilion end. Seats starting to fill up in front of us, but plenty of room if you are in the region. Do come and see us, and there we go. Then we can see the players down on in the pavilion. And so Saraf.
He bowled very beautifully the last match. After getting hit in the first over, he bowled a very good ball. for the left-handers. And for the right-hander, he used to dart the ball. No room, no air. But for the left-hander, because the ball was turning so a lot,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Pawan Saraf will get out of this surface. One thing to bear in mind, as we saw in that first game, is that comes from a terrific height. Down the track again is Canal, just whipping it in the onside. They'll get back for a cheeky couple.
Very well run by these two batsmen, Rajali and Canal.
Yeah, and actually, Pawan Saraf went very nicely in the first game, picking up 2 for 18 in that tight affair against the Push Sports Club Delhi. Economy rated 4.5 as well. Oh, he's gone for a big shot into the onside. He could well go, and he does. And he falls. It's a good little innings there by Dev Canal. And it's a very, very, very good catch by Gulshan J.
Yeah, it was totally unnecessary to play that shot. Particularly, Pawan Saraf is bowling his first over. And a good catch taken by Gulshan Jha there, diving in front. Look at the catch. That's a very good catch. Well, 2 down for 28. The current rate is 5.25 in 5.2 overs. The last over of the power play.
Yes, and exactly what the CR11 didn't want, which is to lose wickets in this power play. The next man in will be Saurav Kanal.
I must say, Johnny, they were going quite decently, the two batsmen. There was no need of that kind of a shot because Pawan Saraf is bowling his first over.
Yes, indeed, and the kind of risks that we've seen taken through the course of this tournament. That run rate 5.25, and the Nepal Police Club have kept things pretty tidy, you have to say. Pawan Saraf will continue up here from the commentary box end. Just a few stretches there by Saurav Kanal. Just feeling for it outside that off stump.
We haven't seen so much of turn. We haven't seen a single turn today, Johnny. What's happening?
Yeah, it's funny. The pitch has settled down, hasn't it? There's been a little bit of bounce, but the ball has just skidded on thus far. Chopped off the back foot through extra cover. That will be 4. Nice shot indeed by Saurav Kanal.
Yeah, extravagant shot by Saurav Kanal. No, it's actually Sandeep Rajali. A beautifully done cut shot to extra cover for 4. You could see there was no hint of a turn there.
Looking to mow across the line on that occasion is Rajali. Nice looking compact little player, Paresh.
Yeah, I think Rajali is good, but that was a very bad choice of a shot. Outside off stump. He could have just placed it to point region to get the gap. Last over the power play.
Bouncing on the leg side. Yeah, Pawan Saraf is a tall man. A very tall man. He's bowled a pretty good first over there. picking up a scalp as well. 32 for 2 after 6. And that will conclude the power play.
And if you saw the last ball of Pawan Sharaf's over, there was a hint of turn. Slight turn. Let's say 10 degrees turn. Not much. Sagar Dakal is going to continue from the market end.
Yeah, he's bowled pretty well thus far, Sagar Dakal. The left armers, but we haven't seen a great deal from either the left armers or the right arm orthodox thus far. A little bit of flight from Sagar Dakal. Doesn't quite beat the man from Saurav Khanal.
Saurav Khanal used to be a bowling all-rounder. He used to bowl medium paces because of his back injury, he stopped bowling. Now he's a big hitter of a ball.
He's defended back to the bowler. And Saurav Khanal just looking for his big shot options here, isn't he? As you said, he's quite a combative player. Laces back and cuts. Does he find the gap? He doesn't quite. As there is a man out there, but there's a little bit of a fielding error. And they'll get back for a couple.
Yeah, there was a fumble. Gulshan Jha, a bit of a fumble. That exactly made the batsman to take 2 runs. And Saurav Khanal played that late. Oh, that's gone. A dolly for Sagar Dakal.
Yeah, just stopped on him. And he's pushed it back to the bowler. And it's a very comfortable caught and bowled by Saurav Khanal. Nice stuff.
Yeah, like we have always been saying in this tournament, this is the 3rd day, the 5th match. Don't go after the ball. Let the ball come to you and play it late. That is what he did in the earlier ball. He waited for the ball, square cutted it, and got 2 runs. And now went after the ball. Ball stopped on him, and it was a sitter.
Yes, and Sagar Dakal has bowled pretty well actually with his left armers, picking up Saurav Khanal there with that caught and bowled. And another wicket goes, 34 for 3. Yeah, just looking to play it away on the onside, and in the end just pushing it back to the bowler. And wickets starting to fall here, and again, even though we haven't seen extravagant turn today, Paresh, its batting looks a little difficult once again.
Basir Ahmad is the new batsman in, a left-hander. Sagar Dakal is going to bowl to a left-hander from around the wicket. That'll be interesting to see. Ball is not turning.
No, it isn't. Sagar Dakal, though, is bowled pretty well. Experienced man. He's just assessing the field. So we've got a man out on the deep square boundary, just dropping back. Paresh, haven't we? Out there for the sweep, just behind square.
I think the curator, the groundsman, has done a good job from yesterday. Apart from ball stopping once in a while, the pitch is playing really well.
Yeah, it is. Squeezed away, just backwards square on the offside. Another tight bit of bowling. Very good over this thus far, is second in the piece. Just looking to push away on the offside, and that'll be the end of the over. There's 7 gone now. 34 for 3. And we'll have a change in the commentary box as Andrew Leonard will come and join us.
After completion of 7 overs, added able to the score is 34 in the last of the wicket.
Yeah, very good morning, everyone. Delighted to join you after what feels like a bit of a sleepy Sunday start to the proceedings today. Pound Saraf looks nicely into his rhythm, though. This one's been hit down the ground. Now, there is a fielder out at long off. He nestles underneath it, and it's been taken. A simple catch, Arjun Soud nestles underneath it. See, a lot of fielders not even have to go backwards on the rope. They're coming 5-10 yards in. That one never even got close to going all the way for 6. And Pound Saraf strikes. The 4th wicket falls. Nicely bowled. It was tossed up. And I think the batter's probably attempted to go over extra cover, but he's got it a bit straighter than he intended. There's a bit of wind here today in Bairoa. And that just swirled a touch, so Arjun Soud has done pretty well to hang on to it. 4th wicket goes. The home side, they're in a spot of bother. Rajali's dismissed for 10, and the score 34 for 4. So 3 wickets in 3 overs have made things pretty difficult for the home side, and it's going to be 4 in 3. That is a beauty. Magnificent delivery from Pound Saraf. He's got tight to the stumps. The ball's drifted away from the right-hander, and it's cut him in half. Probably some pad and glove involved as well, but then it's gone onto the bails. The stuff of dreams for an off-spinner. That has cut him in half. Yeah, it's, I think, off the glove. Maybe a flick of the pad as well. And the new man to the crease, the skipper of the home side, has no idea what's happened. And he's been dismissed for a first ball duck. For the 4th time in 2 days, we're going to have a bowler on a hat-trick. Here it is again. Look at that sharp turn, and Krishna Karki was really in no position to deal with it whatsoever. We're going to see Tul Bahadur Thapa come in at number 7, and he's going to have to face up to the international off-spinner for Nepal, who is on a roll in a big way. He's got 3 for 6. Bowling beautifully. And he's on a hat-trick. We've had 3 chances at it yesterday. None of them were completed. Sampal Kami was amongst those on a hat-trick yesterday. Could today be the day? So here we go. Pound Saraf attacking field, leg slip. Short mid-wicket in place. And it's kept out. I'm going to have to wait for that historic first hat-trick here at the Fantasy Akera Pro Club Championships. And Pound Saraf goes a bit more defensive. His catchy mid-wicket comes out. Goes all the way back, actually, to deep mid-wicket. But the leg slip's going to stay in. More like a leg gully, really. That leg gully position gives you a sense as to just how much the ball is turning square. Look at that, and it goes straight to leg gully. This has come off the pad, so it'll be given not out. Even the fielder saying to the umpire, no, not out. Tul Bahadur Thapa. We'll have to try and rebuild this innings. Yeah, clearly off the thigh pad. Another good decision from one of our 2 standing umpires today. That's Inamun Halwi, standing at the pavilion end. He's standing alongside Vinay Kumar Jha today, and I think he might be going to go to a leg slip and a leg gully. Look at this for a field. No regulation slip in place. And the umpire Vinay Kumar Jha from square leg is saying, I think I'll have a watch from point. Not too comfortable with you lads over here near my space. I'm just going to trot across the wicket. Get a wee bit of TV time as well. Good man, Vinay. Beautifully bowled by Pawan Saraf. Outstanding stuff from him. It's a double wicket maiden, and it's put the police right on top. The end of the 8th over, it's 34 for 5. So, a very good morning from me, Andrew Leonard. Delighted to be back with you live on AP1 HD and, of course, Foo Sports around the world. Two home sides taking on each other on game day number 3 of the championship. And nice to have some company in the commentary box. Paresh Lahani, good morning to you.
Morning, Andrew. And they're looking. The car 11 looks in dire straits, 34 for 5.
They do look in dire straits. I think you're spot on. These two spinners, obviously both internationals, weaving their magic. Nice to see Sagar Dakal in good touch. He hasn't had much opportunity of late. How was your Saturday night in Bairoa?
Yeah, it was pleasant. Went back to the hotel in the evening, rested for a while, had dinner, went for a walk. For 10 minutes or 15 minutes walk, and came back and slept.
Did the walk take in the Zodiac Club, the big nightclub? Were you down in the Zodiac?
I have not been to any clubs in Bairoa because I'm coming to Bairoa after 2 decades.
So that life ban is still in the Zodiac Club. You're not allowed back.
I don't know.
Of course, I'm joking around with you this morning. Sagar Dakal. Look at that, beautifully bowled, and nearly a chance to the first slip. The amount of turn that these two finger spinners are getting is extraordinary. They're both bowling at a really nice pace for the wicket, and look at this, angling into the right-hander, then sharp turn away, and he's done well to survive and get off the mark. Yeah, the same wicket we're playing on as yesterday. 2 wickets being used throughout this tournament. 9-day tournament. Spinners are dominating at the moment. But he looks to be getting a good action on the ball this morning.
Yeah, very, very well done. The length and the turn that he's getting. Earlier, there was no turn whatsoever, but the ball is starting to turn.
Tossed up slower through the air this time, and nicely dealt with, just worked into the leg side. Young Bazir Ahmed's a good young cricketer. The police club, though, as you said early on your stint with Johnny Barron there, they're probably in almost a must-win situation. There is scenarios where the CAR 11 could win all 3 of their games and 3 other teams could win 1 game apiece, and then it would come down to net run rate with the second place sides all in 1 game apiece. And the Malaysia side, of course, in this group are going to be wanting to make up for their defeat. Oh dear, that one's almost struck him in the nether region. Get to the end of the 9th, 37 for 5. But for the police club, it's been a much more impressive performance today. They're not just going to want to win, they're going to want to win big as well.
Yes, exactly, Andrew. They have to win, and they have to win big with a big margin to get that net run rate up. Pawan Saraf is going to continue from the commentary box end.
Don't think we can quite elevate it to the commentary box end, the pavilion end. We're going to be getting accusations of our egos getting out of control on game day 3. Paresh, don't want that to happen. So yeah, this afternoon we'll actually move over to Group B. We're in Group A action right now. So the Malaysia 11 will have to wait today. It was actually nice to see them training yesterday after the end of play. They look like a side who's going to have to bounce back against the Push Sports Delhi team tomorrow. That'll be the tomorrow afternoon, on Monday afternoon game. This Group A, though, it looks very tight. Kind of hard to know where it's going.
And look at that turn. It was pitched on middle stump or off stump, middle off, and it turned sharply. Outside Wolf. What a turn.
Yeah, I think it's definitely time for someone to pull a hamstring and call me into duty out there. Really would love bowling on this wicket. I can already see the drift, the dip, and then the turn away from the right-hander. Difficult conditions, though, for the coaching staff as well, isn't it? And you've got to reassess your approach. We've only really seen one batter, maybe two, with Virendeep Singh alongside Rohit Powell make batting look comfortable. That's the natural variation there. You see, that was an off spinner, it wasn't an arm ball, and it's just gone on with the arm a little bit, probably at the shiny side of the ball rather than hitting the seam, and skidded on. That's why it's so difficult for a batter. A couple of deliveries prior, turned and bounced miles away from his attempted cut shot. This time it skids on and hits the inside edge. Very difficult indeed, a real test of every batter's technique.
Yeah, quick single taken there. Bit of misfield at backward point. Yeah, Pawan Sharaf he's using his mind today. He's bowling, he's mixing the pace. He's using variations. He's bowling arm balls that goes with the arm. He's bowling off spinners. He's getting a lot of turn there. The Car 11 dugout looks bemused because of their situation. 39 for 5 already.
Bowled a bit more round arm, a bit flatter. It's going to get a boundary hammered down the ground. Not sure why Saraf has gone to that delivery. Speared in with extra pace, made it a bit easier to play, and it's been slapped down the ground for 4.
And after 10, Car 11 are 43 for 5. And look at the replay. Slashed it down the vacant area, wide long off. And it was a very good attempt by the fielder there. Almost got the hand to the ball, but couldn't stop the boundary.
Yeah, great effort in the deep from Arjun Saud. Let's take a look at the highlights. We're going to have a drinks break here. We'll talk you through those. It's been basically all the police club this morning, but there was a few runs to start with off the seamers. Karen KC, in the context of the game, certainly reasonably expensive. 2 overs for 14, but that delivery from Gulshan Jha, that's why he makes the home fans very excited.
Yes, exactly. Gulshan Jha, when he uses his shoulder at the last moment on the point of delivery, that is where we should watch him. And his run-up is so smooth, and his load.
That was a nice shot from Dev Canal, using his feet to get to the pitch of the ball and punching it for one of his 2 boundaries. But then as soon as the spinners came on, things became very difficult indeed. The runs have stopped flowing, and despite this attempted heave into the leg side, that gave Saraf his first wicket. Dev Canal was caught by Gulshan Jha. There was just 2 more boundaries to talk about. Very good caught and bowl, that one from Sagar Dakal to give him his first scalp today. This was a poor shot, just a giveaway from Sandeep Rajali down the ground.
Yeah, that was a very poor shot. Yeah. And look at this turn. That was beautifully done by Pawan Sharaf. Bowling well, Sagar Dakal again with the arm.
And just the final boundary before we take a look at the bowling figures. 4 bowlers used so far. And no surprise to see the spinners dominating again. They've taken 4 of the 5 wickets. Pawan Sharaf's been outstanding. 3 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 12. Sagar Dakal, good to see him back into rhythm. The big problem there, though, look at the bottom of your screen. 3 wickets falling on the same score and 4 wickets for 6 runs. And that's left the home side on their home turf in a difficult position where they're going to need to try and battle in this second half. They've got to be thinking anything north of 100 might give them a chance. And there's a little bit of batting still to come as well. But you never want to see your skipper dismissed for a first ball duck, and that's exactly what he was. For the police side, Paresh, this game going basically to plan, even though they've lost the toss?
Yeah, I think so, because they bowled very well. They bowled to the plan, they bowled to the field. I think they are on a mission from today to win both the matches, today's match and the other match.
So very good morning to all you watching on at home. Andrew Leonard here with Paresh Tony Lahani. I think it's about that time of the morning, Tony, to find out. You had one job. I gave you one task last night. You said you had this nickname of Tony for your entire life, but you never knew why. So tell me you picked up the phone and called your great uncle.
Yeah, I did, and he said that he named me after Tony Greig.
Is that right? Tony Greig? And why was that? Did he give you any more detail or background as to what similarities you had to Tony?
Actually, I played cricket from very small age, let's say 6 or 7 years of age, and he knew that I played in the house. I played with a hard ball, putting the pad for the flap of the pad was a thigh pad for me. And my uncle saw that, and he said, okay, you play cricket? Yeah. Okay, I'll nickname you Tony.
And of course, the South African-born cricketer went on to play for the England cricket team. Did have some Scottish heritage, Tony Greig, but he became almost as famous for his work in the commentary box, particularly with the great Bill Lawry. And we lost Tony Greig about 10 years ago now. There was no one really like the Bill and Tony show, was there?
Yes, that was very good, I must say. A single tangle, Manjit Shrestha coming to bowl, the captain.
So, if you're Tony Greig, it means I might be Bill Lawry. I should be getting awfully excited throughout the rest of the day. Don't think I'm a pigeon fan. I know Bill Lawry used to love his pigeons. Might have to take up some kind of other hobby. Great to have Paresh Tony Lahani with us. Cut away. It won't be just a single protection out there. So what age did he call you Tony at, Paresh?
Around 7 or 8.
What year would that have been, if you don't mind me asking?
It was 1987 or 1988.
Okay, so Tony Greig would have, at that point, have migrated into the commentary box and started to do his work for the 9 Worldwide Sports team. Fairly iconic group of commentators then, wasn't it? Led by the commentary captain, Richie Benno, Tony Greig, Bill Lawry, Max Walker. And later joined by the likes of Mark Taylor, Alan Border. Something about their coverage down there. And of course then they used to pull in overseas commentators, Tony Cozier from the Caribbean, Michael Holding, David Gower,
Mike Hazeman as well.
The iconic voices of the game. So the skipper looks a pretty happy man right now. His sort of medium pace cutter spinners that he's bowling, pretty effective. 4 for 10 he took in the first match. Big hit into the leg side, and there is a fielder out there, but it's going to go over his head. The slog sweep used by Thapa. That's a really good strike, the first maximum of the innings, I believe, and it goes all the way into the leg side for 6.
Yes, that was really beautifully picked up. Outside off stump, into the gap. It doesn't matter, it's gone over the rope for a maximum.
Yeah, that's more like it for the home side, and we've tended to see after the drinks break often the coaching staff doing their hardest work and making sure they get across to their batters that it's time to go, time to score some runs. Quick single has been survived, so 11 gone now, 53 for 5. Could 110, maybe 120 be enough?
Yeah, if they play like this till the, let's say, 17th over, and then 3 overs just go berserk. They might.
I suppose one of the issues, one of the challenges though, is the fact they have lost 5 wickets. So with just half of their wickets remaining, 9 overs to go, they probably can't afford to take too many risks. I know that Thap has got out the big slog sweep there and played it to great effect, but there's surely a case of where they should be knocking it around here. Plenty of fielders outside the circle, all 5 being used. In fact, no one on the leg side for the off-spinner Saraf apart from fine leg in the circle. So you can tip and run it anywhere in the leg side, pick up 1, and 6 singles and over for the next 5 or 6 overs would be a pretty good result.
Yes, exactly. They have to play like that. If the loose ball comes, just go for it. Otherwise, just play singles, rotate the strike till the 16th over. But Pawan Sharaf has different angles.
Tossed up, he gets the slog sweep out, he's hitting with the wind, but he's hit it down the throat of Karen KC at long on. He takes a really good catch. Thought he might have just got enough of it to get it over his head, but instead it's a 4th wicket to Saraf, and that's a very fine catch. He's made that look a lot easier than it actually was.
Yes, Karan Casey, a very handy in the outfield, a safe pair of hands. And look at the catch again. Ran to his left, just jogged. Look at that. Jumping, controlling himself, not going over the rope. Very well done.
And that's the key part to the catch. It wasn't just the getting his 2 hands across to his left and clinging on, but it was the fact that he was able to use the dancing feet, keep them inside that rope, and that's probably one of the best catches we've seen in the tournament so far. Excellent from Karen KC, showing off his all-round skills, and that gives Pawan Saraf a 4th. Really good catch from him. Home side lose their 6th, just as we were talking about a bit of a rebuilding period.
Yeah, that is called a moving balance from Karan Casey. The Cricket Association of Rupandehi in a deep trouble. 53 for 6 already. They beat Malaysia 11. The national team of Malaysia.
Sharp turn down the leg side, so it will be signalled wide. Saraf's going to have real thoughts of a 5-wicket haul here.
Yeah. Will he be able to get a fifer? 4 balls to go.
Beautifully bowled. Looks in a nice rhythm, doesn't he, Saraf? Fine cricketer, and we spoke about this the other day, but the potential for someone like him for this tournament is probably the greatest. Has by no means solidified his place in the national team starting 11, even necessarily in the national squad. So between these games here at the Fantasy Akara Pro Club Championship, alongside the potential and maybe some games against Zimbabwe in the coming weeks, he's wanting to use every time he gets the exposure on these televised matches to make his case and get himself onto that tour of the USA.
Unlucky Pawan Sharaf, that was not a wide.
I think it was a wide, Tony. The umpire signalled it as a wide there.
But look at that. That was a sharp turn there.
Umpire's decision is final, Tony. Come on now.
A single taken there. Pawan Sharaf still has 2 balls remaining of his last over.
And a few nervy looking faces amongst the substitutes and the coaching staff of the CAR 11 side, and understandably they don't feel they've got enough runs. What do you make of these decisions from the skippers predominantly to bat first? Conditions are of course turning. Do you think it's easier to chase in these conditions, or are you better off setting out your stall to get some runs on the board?
Actually, the first game they played, they chased and won the match. And why did they win the toss and batted first today? That is a very big question.
Well, there was a bit of confusion, wasn't there, at the toss? I think the skipper had mixed thoughts. At first he said bowl, I thought. It's a nice shot. Bazir Ahmed, he's going to get 4 for it. And a lovely example of how to hit inside out over extra cover without overhitting, holding your shape and affecting a shot really nicely, albeit with the aerial route. Saraf isn't going to get a 5-wicket haul. He'll finish with 4 for 20.
Yes, look at that shot. Beautifully done. Opens his face with a straight bat and gets it in the gap between the sweeper cover and long off for a boundary. Car 11 moves to 61 for 6. The current rate is 5.08 after 12 overs. Pawan Sharaf finishes for 20 for 4. A very good bowling by him. The Car 11 dugout don't look happy. Sagar Dakal into the attack.
So Sagar Dakal will complete his spell. I just wonder, was Saraf a little guilty as they get back for a quick second of maybe searching too much for that 5-wicket haul rather than just trying to close things out?
Yeah, that was a very good running between the wickets. These two batsmen, Basir Ahmed.
Yeah, Bishal Bikram KC, the new man of the crease. He just chipped that one down the ground. He's there because of that dismissal, thanks to that great catch from Karen KC. Tell us about Sagar Dakal. It was obviously the Everest Premier League that really shot him to prominence, but it hasn't quite worked out. His initial efforts in international cricket, maybe often not through his own fault, used at strange times, etc.
Yeah, he's a decent cricketer, decent bowler. But I don't know what's happening with him. He has a very good outing in the Everest Premier League.
And he certainly looks to be bowling in the way he did during the Everest Premier League today, with that lovely trademark flat trajectory, but a good rhythm. And crucially for Dakal, when he's bowling well, he's getting lots of action, lots of revs on the ball. You can see it there, can't you? Perfect example. Lots of revolutions, which means that he gets that drift. The more action you get in it, the more it drifts. So it's going to drift away from the left-hander before almost cutting him in half and spinning back in. That's beautiful bowling. Quick
Yet
single.
Again, beautiful bowling. Beautiful length. The length. The bowlers, Pawan Sharaf even, Sagar Dakal, Gulshan Jha, Karan Casey, the length they have bowled is immaculate in this kind of a wicket. Oh, Dilip Nath just rolling up.
Down the track, tries to go inside out and ends up squirting off an outside edge. Was this a chance at backward point? Not sure the greatest piece of fielding from Roshan Budal. That'll get us to the end of the 13th over. 68 for 6. What happened here, Tony?
Yeah, was that a chance? No, it's short of him. He could have got his body behind the ball. But I think the body turned when it landed. That is why the batsmen were able to get 2 runs. Manjeet Shrestha now coming back. Previous over, 7 runs given by Dakal. He doesn't mind at this stage. Andrew, 6 or 7 runs per over.
I still think every run counts out here, Paresh, though, because it's not just in terms of necessarily winning the match, but also that net run rate. could well end up deciding the group because of the one-run defeat, as we see a good piece of fielding in the deep from Chitra Bahawar Bista. They basically have a net even run rate, just a one-run defeat, the narrowest one you can have. So if they could take a big win today, the police, it's going to put them into a position where maybe any kind of a win on the final day of the group stages of Group A will get them through to the semi-finals. It's all about finishing in the top two of your group. That's all that matters. Tossed up teasingly, flirts with the wide line. Very marginal.
Yeah, and bowled pretty well. Manjeet Shrestha, an experienced campaigner, senior player, senior pro. He's played cricket for almost 2 decades already.
Nicely bowled, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because every other spinner that's been bowling has been getting sharp turn out of the wicket, but Shrestha is almost doing the opposite because he's just really skidding them on, darting the deliveries in, and he's beating the right-hander on the outside edge here. Three in a row, just skidding on. There's no turn for him, and you can see no revolutions, just that index finger going behind the ball.
This last particular ball, he bowled a bit slower than the other 2-1.
Yeah, and I think he's bowled pretty nicely, actually. He's used these conditions well. 4 for 10 in game 1. Quick single run. We'll get through for 1. For here, though, particularly Bazir Ahmed, who's got a ever-growing reputation in local domestic cricket, you'd have to feel that he's thinking of not just 3 figures, but maybe up to 120. Still 6 overs to go after this one.
He must be thinking that, but the non-striker should give company to him, give strike to him, rotate the strike.
Yeah, he's knocked it around nicely as Bishal Bikram moves to double figures. Poor piece of fielding, just needed to pick that up cleanly, Arjun Saud, and it would have only been a single. Instead it's a couple. Get us to the close of the 14th over. 72 for 6. We'll have a commentary change. I'll bid farewell to Paresh. Here it is, pretty poor effort. This could have actually gone two-handed and just picked it up cleanly, kept it to 1. And as Paresh departs, I'll welcome in Johnny Barron to come and join me. Very good morning to you, Johnny. How are you?
Andrew, very good. Yes, very good. Witnessing another tight affair in game number 5.
You managed to catch up on your sleep yet? Do you feel acclimatized and into the Nepali time zone?
I think I'm getting there. Yeah, I've actually had a pretty good night's sleep the last couple of nights. Feeling refreshed this morning. Feeling sort of au fait with the conditions and the environment. Getting used to the cuisine, which is excellent, by the way.
Yeah, nothing quite like the local Nepali food. Just wonder where this game is going. I think the last 3 or 4 overs have actually gone quite nicely for the home team. These two have put on 19 runs. They've come in good time. Pound Saraf might have been a little guilty of searching for that 5-wicket haul. Went for a couple of boundaries in his final over, and then these two have just knocked it around nicely. Karen KC returns. Back live with you now. It'll be a dot ball, and his 2 comeback overs going to be very important ones. Went for 14 in his first 2. Has to be tight, and ideally find the 7th or 8th wicket as well.
Yeah, a fraction expensive by his standards, and yeah, it'll be interesting.
I think the way these two have batted, though, has impressed me. Bazir Ahmed and Bishal Bikram may be showing their more senior colleagues the way it should be done here. Because, Johnny, it has to be said, some of the shot selection from the upper order was a bit poor at times.
Yes, it was. Apart from Dev Canal, who I thought batted beautifully up at the top, it's been a bit of a mixed bag in that top order. But the key is, isn't it, at this stage, is just not to panic. There's still enough time. You can still be competitive.
And also, in a funny way, when you're outside the power play, the pressure in T20 games outside the power play comes in games where there are average scores of 160, 180, 200. We're not going to see that here in this tournament. Can't really see us getting up much above 150 or 160 at any stage. So if that's the case, and you're here in these overs 6 to 14, all you need to do is knock the ball around. There's gaps everywhere. If you can get 5 singles and over, and then maybe get one bad ball as well, you're going to get 7, 8, 9 and over.
I think absolutely. You've got 5 men outside the circle. And the pressure comes when you've got the men inside the ring, really, in these tight, low scorers.
Yeah, and that's where it's going to be interesting to see which of the captains will be braver and decide to bring additional men inside the circle in those over 6 to 14. One of the things that I think we've seen, particularly with Owen Morgan's English side in white ball cricket, is proactive captaincy and a move away from the norm. Don't just go to captaincy by numbers. Don't just say, okay, well, we're outside the power play now, so we're allowed 5 out, so we put 5 out. Actually assess the conditions of the match.
Yes, I think that all started in the kind of white ball reset in the UK back in 2015 after an absolute disastrous World Cup campaign. And then suddenly Morgan just upped his game, and the whole approach of England was incredibly proactive and very busy. And of course, 4 years later, they won the World Cup.
Yeah, the remarkable thing about that, I was actually at that 2015 World Cup, so with the ICC at that point, was the fact that Owen Morgan was at the helm in that 2015 World Cup. And so often, historically, England would have sacked their captain at that point. But the way he fronted up after their loss to Bangladesh in Adelaide, which knocked them out of the group stages of that tournament, I was actually there. It was an absolutely brutal press conference. But the way in which he fronted up, he didn't shirk a single question. And he simply said, we are not good enough. And we have to completely reassess everything we do. In the white ball version of the game had moved on significantly. It had gone past England. And then it wasn't just the fact that they won the World Cup. Of course, that was impressive. They got to the T20 World Cup final in 2016 as well. But they dominated white ball cricket through that 2016 to 2019 period. And the kind of cricket they played, the aggressive attacking cricket, both with bat and with ball, kind of revolutionised the game. And I would like to remind everyone, it's all thanks to the Irishman, Owen Morgan.
Yeah, so just another point on that is that I think what was the key thing for Owen Morgan coming off the back of that tournament was that I think he felt that if he's going to be captain of this side, he needs to take responsibility and he needs to build the side and build the approach in his manner, if you like. I mean, he almost transcends the white ball game in the UK now.
Yeah, so much so that despite a pretty lean trot of form over the last 12 months or so, I think they're going to continue to pick him almost like in a Mike Brearley captain-esque role. Doesn't almost matter if he's getting runs. He's that strong a leader. Many other great leaders around the world as well, but Morgan in the white ball format, he really stands out. No doubt about that. Back to this game, that's a really good diving stop there. Sagar Dakal, he's very tight in at backward point, but with his left hand, you'll often stick a left-handed fielder at backward point, gets that strong left hand out, and he saves probably 3 runs.
Yeah, that is a terrific looking bit of fielding, isn't it? A backward point. Very sharp indeed.
Cut away, and again cut straight to that backward point fielder. Dakal's been exceptional in there. He's really tight in. He's probably only 15, 18 yards away. And there were 2 fierce cut shots. Both could have easily gone to the boundary. Instead, just a single and a dot allowed.
Yeah, frustrating that. As they say, the old adage, a yard either side and the boundaries on each occasion. But that it is, 2 dots, and that just continues the pressure to build.
Hit into the sky. This has gone miles up. Long on comes in. Gulshan Jia nestles underneath it and takes a very good catch. He's made excellent ground coming in. Sprinted in. Ended up falling on his back to make sure the catch didn't pop out. And his fielders have backed up the captain in a big way here. 2 good stops at point, followed up by an excellent catch. And that's the 7th wicket.
Yeah, it's Bashir Mohammed looking to go down the ground, and again, just not quite getting to the pitch. There's no real feet, isn't it? It's all hands, and he's not getting there. And he has to make quite a bit of ground, but it's a very comfortable catch in the deep. Again, another ball, another wicket falls to the high ball out in the deep. 80 for 7, and that's after 16 overs.
So the leg spinning all-rounder Bikram Bhushal to the crease. This is a really good catch. I reckon he's made 35 yards there with that ball in the air. Very fit and athletic young man. Gone are the days of your fast bowlers being donkeys in the field. They really are some of the best fielders in the world. I think so, the likes of James Anderson. He's probably the first one who started to change that fast bowler just automatically walks down to fine leg approach, and they put Gulshan Jia into the key fielding position at long on, and it's paid off.
Yeah, looking at James Anderson, he's near the age of 39. I would say he's England's best field, and has been England's best and most consistent field over his Test career.
Gulshan Jia to bowl his final 2 overs. He'll likely, I suspect, bowl overs 17 and 19, because it's just been 5 bowlers used so far. 4 of those 5 bowlers with international experience. 3 of the 4 domestic sides in the shape of the Nepal Police, the Armed Police Force, and the Nepal Army sides. They all look very strong, don't they?
Yeah, they've gone well in this tournament thus far. Easily the strongest of the sides in this 8-man tournament.
Beautifully bowled through to the keeper, and again great carry well above the head of Dilip Nath, who clings on alongside the other Pradesh 11 and maybe the Push Sports Delhi side. Are they going to be the 5 sides to watch? It might be a big ask for CAR to get into the semis if they lose today.
Yeah, I think CAR, based on what we saw in that first innings, or that first match they played, you know, it really was a bit of a struggle for them. But they were within a whisker, weren't they? That's the most frustrating thing for them. Just one win away, one run away.
Yeah, they did actually pick up a win in that game 1, but it was by a very narrow margin. What my concern for CAR today would be if they lost today, then they'll have to come up in their final game against the Delhi side. Very hard to call this group because Malaysia are going to be looking to bounce back. I think almost all 4 sides are still very realistic chances of advancing to the semi-finals. Dug in down the leg side, half an appeal just to try and persuade Vinay Kumar Jha not to give it as a wide, but it will be given as a wide. And that's what makes this game so important today, for the police to chase down what's going to be probably an under par total. That'll get them off to their first win of the tournament and really keep this group wide open.
Yeah, they will indeed. And a very tight affair, wasn't it, in their first game. Would have been a dramatic finish had they have chased that 19 down.
picked up on a pull shot into the leg side. It'll just be a single. Ja has all the assets you'd want in a young fast bowler. He's tall, he's strong, he's got a pretty repeatable action, it looks like to me. Pretty handy with the bat as well, for someone who's 16, 17 years of age. 17 years of age, that really is a highly exciting asset for the head coach of the national team, for Pavudu Dasanayake, to have at his disposal. What have you made of him, your first look in the last couple of days?
Well, really impressive. I was really impressed with the way in which he went about his batting actually in that first game, and building up to that final over, and never really considering that the game was up 4, then 6, then 6 off the first 3 balls. And at that stage, you really thought he was going to bring the side home, and what an experience that would have been at that stage of his career. But then, watching the way in which he's bowled today, I think he's bowled absolutely superbly in both spells. He bowls at a decent lick, and he's got a nice control as well up there from the market end.
Goes fuller this time and is punished into the leg side. That's a really good shot. Arguably one of the shots of the day. And it's come from a batter batting all the way down at number 9. I think he's an all-rounder. He's not just a leg spinner. And he's got this away for 4. Sparkling stroke.
Yeah, lovely looking flick, isn't it? It's outside the off stump, and it's disappeared through the onside from Bikram Kumar Bhusal. Really nice.
I suppose for the home side, they might just be thinking maybe of a miraculous 120, and that could be enough. Definitely still under par. But a few confident looking approaches and some smiles on the camera. Critical last 3 overs coming up, because that over from Ja went for 9 thanks to the boundary off the final delivery. Again, that's just that little bit of inexperience from Ja. Probably maybe should have gone to a slower ball or something just to close out the over. He's got a bit greedy, looked for a leg stump Yorker. It's turned into a half volley, and it's cost him 4 runs.
Yeah, it has indeed. I think that's a length you need to be very careful of, very wary at, especially at the death in these death overs, because people will punch on that, won't they? They'll capitalise on those kind of opportunities.
Shrestha to continue, and runs starting to flow here at the death. Back-to-back boundaries for one of the first times in the innings. And this is a very clever shot. I think Shrestha's almost looked for kind of the leg cutter coming out of the side of his hand, and the batter's picked it, and watch his wrists here. He gets to the pitch of the ball, manipulates it away through the offside for 4.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of batting, isn't it? Inside out from Bishal Bikram into the offside. A lovely looking shot.
Yeah, it's the Bikram show here at the moment, isn't it? Bishal Bikram and Bikram Bhusal combining very effectively, and just wonder will CAR have a look at their batting order. 2 batters here at numbers 8 and 9 look like maybe outside of Dev Canal the most technically correct batters in the team.
Yeah, they are indeed, and they're pulling their side, or putting their side back in real contention here, aren't they? 94 for 7, it's a dramatic return.
I just wonder as well for Shrestha, with him bowling late in the piece here, he's bowled the 12th to 18th overs from the pavilion end of the ground. He maybe missed a trick in terms of getting a 6th bowler in to give him the extra option, so he didn't have to go with the additional overs of pace that have been costly.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I think, pace on the ball has been the bonus, really, especially with the kind of turn that we've seen both from the taller off spinners here and the left armers as well.
Don't quite know how to describe Manjeet Shrestha as a bowler, because he's not just an off spinner, is he? He kind of bowls these these leg cutters, these off spinners, a lot of his deliveries actually have no spin at all in them. He's just got, I think, probably the index finger behind them, and he's just pushing it through, not as an arm ball, but not as a regulation off spinner. You think of an off spinner's grip. We'll actually talk about that at the end of this over. This one's hit into the leg side for what's likely going to be a single. Runs continuing to come. 1 for 26, Threster will finish with.
Yeah, darts is what he's bowling. A little bit like Yardy of Sussex, who played in that successful England T20 side that won in the West Indies in 2010. Bowled almost medium paces.
Yeah, we've got a ball here. Always carry a ball wherever I am in the cricketing world, just in case someone says, Lenny, go and have a bowl in the nets, bowl some leg breaks for me. We'll talk about off-spin though, right? Your traditional off-spinner's action. And just see if you can maybe hold my mic for 10 seconds there. Sorry, just so I get the ball correct. So the off-spinner's action there, you've got your two fingers, which are going to work like that. Now, a lot of off-spinners will also bowl, thanks Johnny, with the thumb on the ball. And then all they're going to do is almost open the door. Okay, you open the door like that, and as the seam is going to rotate like that. But Threster is actually probably holding it with a grip a bit more like this, where just the index finger is working down. And what that then does is it pushes the ball out like this, and there'll be no rotations on it. Actually, it will just be some backspin on it, and that's why it's skidding on and beating the outside edge of the right-hander's bat. So it's not a traditional off-spinner. We'll come back to that as Karen KC comes in. So he's not opening the door. He's not turning that door to turn it from left to right like that. Instead, he's getting that index finger behind the ball, pushing it out, and it's going down and just skidding on, and that's what's making it a bit confusing. Runs here, this time 4 in fortunate circumstances. I'm not sure the batters have necessarily picked that up either, Johnny, at times.
No, they haven't. Very subtle variations, and it's impressive control as well.
Yeah, fortune this time, but the 100 comes up in the 19th over. And Karen KC off this short run. He's going to bowl a cutter himself this time. Been really impressed with this partnership. It's been the standout one of the innings. It's worth 23 now. It's coming good time. 23 off just 15 balls, would you believe? And they continue to come, smash through the offside. Should be a couple. Well, that's really poor running.
Yeah, there should have been a couple there. Well, wickets came in a flurry, didn't they, up at the top of the order. And these two have solidified and given them some kind of chance of getting up to something competitive. 120 is on. They might be greedier than that as well.
Looked for the block hole, and don't think this has been Karen KC's finest spell. Probably just protecting his body a bit, coming off a few yards. He's always smiling still, though. Caught up with him and Sampal Kami and Gulshan Jha in a restaurant last night. They were enjoying some fine dishes around the corner from the hotel. Nice to see the national team players enjoying their time down here in Bairoa. This could be a chance, it will be. And Gulshan Jha, he's been everywhere. Takes his third catch of the day. Good ground across to his left, and Karen KC has his first wicket.
Yeah, full outside the off stump, and Bishal Bikram couldn't quite make the most of that one, could he? Spooning out to deep extra cover. He'll be a little bit disappointed, but a pretty impressive effort actually. 29 off 25, and that's given this side a little bit more impetus. But yeah, just one hand off the bat as we see here. And it's a very comfortable catch for the 17-year-old. 106 for 8.
Good work from Gulshan Jha. He's been excellent in the field. 3 catches now for him. Durgesh Gupta, the left arm pacer, to the crease. We were talking last night as we were just discussing the young talent coming through, Johnny, weren't we, between us, about the lack of a left arm seamer in the national team. And for Durgesh Gupta, he's got his chance, and what was lovely was to see Pratish GC here. Now, he's not playing in this tournament, hasn't been able to find a place in any of the 4 sides, but he's actually in town playing some other domestic cricket, and we just bumped into him, didn't we, on the walk home?
Yeah, we did indeed. Trying to establish why he wasn't playing, of course. But, yeah, left armers are so useful, aren't they, in the international game? Especially in any format of cricket. Very useful, of course, in the longer forms where the pitch conditions can be affected by them.
So 6 deliveries left for CAR to battle up towards 120. Don't think anything's going to be left in the locker here from Bikram Bhushal. He throws everything at that, but can only get it down to Karen Casey for one. And he shadow bats a big hit. That was Gupta, in fact. Correction. Smashing that one down the ground. He's making his intent known right from the start.
Yeah, he is indeed. A nice looking shot to start off with. Boundaries are the currency now.
Yeah, and of course Gupta, like so many left-handed bowlers, bats right-handed. That was what deceived me there. Here comes Bhushal now. He's got 5 deliveries to work with, facing up to Jha. Looks for the ramp, gets nowhere near it. Good pace, good carry, good bounce right over the top of probably middle and off.
Yeah, followed him, didn't he? Didn't give him a great deal of room for manoeuvre. Right shot option, though. Trying to lift it up and over that short, fine leg. Nobody back on the boundary down there.
Good bowling this. It's been out thought, and what Bhushal needs to do is set a base. Wherever he's going to target around the ground, he needs to set a base. He was on the walk in a big way for that ramp shot, and then for the attempted cut stroke, he's almost fallen over. If you don't have a base as a batter, it's very difficult to make any contact. Some of the great coaches I worked with over the years spoke to me about thinking like a boxer. A boxer can only land a punch if he's got his 2 feet on the ground and a good solid platform and a solid base. Try to punch someone with 1 foot off the ground, you've no chance. There's no power in it. It's just like batting. Get a base like he has there and whip it away down the ground with a bit of a helicopter flair to it, and that's much better. May have been a half volley, but it's been dealt with brilliantly, and he gets 4 straight down the ground.
Yeah, Bikram Bhushal with the helicopter shot. I mean, it's a terrific bit of innovation. He gets it straight as well, doesn't he? Straight as a die. That was the key to that, beating the men down here on the ropes. Terrific work.
But the difference was, compared to the previous 2 shots, he had a solid platform. He actually had a base to hit from. With the pace of Jha, you don't even need to move your feet too much, particularly at the death. Just get a base, throw your hands at it. Stop falling over. Make sure you make contact. Good bowling from Jha into the block hole. He's showing why he's going to be such an asset in years to come. I think he'll get better and better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice bit of work, isn't it, outside the off stump. And I guess, yeah, look at that. Right on the outer reaches. And it's a horrible looking attempt at a shot, isn't it? It really is. I'm not sure you'd ever want to see that on your highlight reel.
But again, guilty of being on the move as a batter. Stay still. 1 delivery remains. Been a good over. Can he close it out, Jha? Slower ball smashed into the sky. I think Gulshan Jha thinks this has gone all the way. He had the look of a man who knew it, and the perfect finish for the home side. There's only been 2 sixes in the innings, and the second 6 comes from the final delivery. Frustration for Jha, couldn't quite get it done. Instead, CAR are nudging up maybe closer to par. 117 for 8. Could that be enough?
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether it will be competitive. It's will be the lowest score defended of the tournament thus far, but it is a nice finish, isn't it? Down the ground, and he gets a good piece of it, actually, length outside the off stump, but on this occasion he waited for it, he watched it, and he had his head still at the point of impact. That was the key.
And even Karen KC couldn't do anything out at long on. So 117 for 8 they'll finish with. The pick of the bowlers, no doubt, Pawan Saraf. He leads his side off alongside Gulshan Jha, who is excellent in the field. And you'd have to think that the police club, having been such a strong position, having had their opposition 53 for 6 at one stage, Johnny, are going to be pretty disappointed with having conceded 117. But they'd probably have taken that at the start of the game, having lost the toss.
Yeah, it was a very good comeback, wasn't it? Those middle overs, Bishal, Bikram KC and also Bikram Busal, with those important runs at the end, and very important they might prove, but as you absolutely, from a fielding perspective, you'd be delighted at keeping any side sort of under 120, 130, and you'd fancy yourself in the chase.
Yeah, I think so, and let's take a look at the batting highlights. There was runs at the top of the order for Dev Canal and a couple of boundaries for Prajwal Thapa and Sandeep Brajali as well, but after that things went into a bit of a lull. Despite that nice stroke through the offside from Dev Canal, it was all about the lower middle order that got the CAR 11 up to a defendable total. Good efforts from Tul Thapa, Bikram Bhushal and also Bishal Bikram KC, who ended up as a top scorer with 29.
Yeah, very good efforts indeed, and really impressive batting. A nice array of shots actually, but he's pulling away on the leg side on that occasion, up and over mid wicket, and then a little bit of inside out stuff through extra cover. And these are the highlights package, which are fairly thin as a batting perspective. As you can see with that score of 117 for 8, never easy to get the ball away. Again, inside out, that particular approach actually served them pretty well through the course of the day. And that, well, just a little bit of luck, isn't it? An outside edge, bit of a swing. You take any bit of luck you can. But that was, well, probably one of the shots of the day, wasn't it? The helicopter shot down the ground in that final over. And then a 6 to finish has got them, well, not quite respectability, but something to play with.
So that has left them with 117, and it's not just the runs that Thapa, Bikram KC and Bikram Bhushal scored, but it's actually the intent that they brought that I was most impressed with. They really took the attack back to the police side, and it means that they'll end up with 117 for 8. The standout efforts there are definitely the two Bikrams, Bishal Bikram KC with 29 and Bikram Bhushal with 19 from just 12 deliveries, and good efforts too from Bazir Ahmed, Tul Thapa and Dev Canal. So we'll take a look now at the wickets. There was 8 wickets to fall in total, and many of them went to spin. 6 going to spin, and just a wicket apiece then for Karan KC and Gulshan Jha. I felt that the two spinners, the out-and-out spinners, Sagar Dakal and Pawan Saraf, they bowled beautifully.
Yeah, they did indeed, I have to say. And that was a lovely delivery, wasn't it? Full and straight, and then a good catch in the jeep by the young all-rounder.
Gulshan Jha just seemed to be involved in everything, didn't he? That was a very good catch too as well from Sagar Dakal, his sole wicket. Poor shot, that one. I think Sandeep Brajali is going to be particularly disappointed with that dismissal. But this was a beauty. Cut him in half. Very first ball that Krishna Karki faced. Clean bowl by Pawan Saraf, and then he had his fourth. A good catch from Karan KC.
Yeah, absolutely cracking catch. He's got very little room to work with, and that's a good catch as well. Gulshan Jha again, who's taken a hatful of catches out there, had a pretty good return in the field.
Here's another one for Jha. He was absolutely everywhere, wasn't he? So the 8 wickets fell, and all of them picked up at least one, but the standout by a distance was Pawan Saraf. He bowled beautifully. 4 overs of excellent off spin, including a maiden, to finish with 4 for 20. And I think that certainly, on the whole, they'll be pretty happy with their efforts, although 57 of those runs came off just 8 overs of the seamers, so they were more costly. The target for the Nepal Police Club, it's going to be 118 to win, and they're going to need to do it to keep their fate in their own hands. We'll be back with every ball of the chase after a few messages. Very good morning, and you are welcome back to the coverage here on AP1 HD Live and around the world on VU Sports. Andrew Leonard with you for game number 5 of the Fancy Akata Pro Club Championships. It's the home side in the beautiful yellow and maroon. They posted 117, and if they can win today, they're going to move top of the table with 4 points. Looked pretty unlikely at the halfway stage, around 53 for 6 at one point. Thanks to a good late order effort from the Bikram show, they've ended up getting up to 117, and it might just be possible to defend that total with a good bowling attack. It's a good mixed bowling attack seam, quite a lot of spin as well. And I just wonder, will they fancy their chances? They'll be led by their captain, Krishna Karki, who's going to open the bowling from the pavilion end of the ground. And I just wonder, are they sniffing a bit of an upset? I think the Police Club would have been favoured coming into today with the additional international experience and excellent players that they have in their 11. But maybe the CAR side on their home ground will just be sensing a bit of an upset. They don't have the cushion of 140, 150, but they do have 117 on the board. They've got something to defend. For the Police Club, it's going to be Shankar Rana opening up alongside Pawan Saraf. Pawan Saraf will take strike, the all-rounder who's having an excellent day so far. He took 4 wickets. But you are very welcome along indeed. Just approaching midday local time. We're here in Barawa, the land of Gautam Buddha in the Lumbini province. I've got Johnny Barron with me. Good morning to you, Johnny.
Andrew, a very good morning. And yeah, well, it would be a terrific effort to defend this, wouldn't it? I think, 132 has been around about the kind of scores that you want. 132 between 139. I think this is it seems about 20 light, but we will have to see.
Yeah, and if you're watching on from around the world, I know plenty of viewers tuning on YouTube on VU Sports. Good morning to you as well. Here comes Karki. Bit of movement, bit of shape away from Pawan Saraf. Perhaps you're involved in the cricket industry. Here's a young man to sponsor. Pawan Saraf, let's get him a bat deal. Come on, guys. Super talent, bat, ball. Good-looking young chap. Got a bit of a social media following. Why wouldn't you sponsor him?
Well, indeed. He's a nice-looking player, I have to say. He really is. And of course, he bowled absolutely beautifully first up as well.
Drives nicely into the offside. Karki was excellent in game 1. They bowled 3 overs straight through in the power play, 1 for 9 in that power play. Cunningly effective, isn't he? It's that mix of the full pace deliveries, which are his outswingers, and then the off cutters that he bowls so effectively. Then that crazy sort of moon slower ball that he tries to land around a Yorker length.
Yes, plenty of variations, which I think is fairly important. He hasn't got a great deal of height to work with, but very busy little action as well as an approach to the crease.
Driven firmly and a good positive call. I like to see that. Coach always tells you, as a batter, if you get on your front foot, you hit to mid-on or mid-off, call yes immediately, you'll generally get there.
Yeah, especially if you hit it that firmly, because the fielder's priority at that point is trying to stop the ball on the edge of the ring as well.
Watchful to start with. The approach for the Police Club, where are they going to look to target this power play, this first 6 overs, or just build the chase?
Well, especially with the pace on, with the field up with the pace on, you feel that's the opportunity to score, isn't it? When the slower men are on with a little bit more defence, it's difficult to thread the ball. But I just feel with the pace on, this is the opportunity. And actually, it'd be very interesting to see if they can get off to a good start, and they set themselves up very nicely for the chase.
Well, he's going to take one look from one delivery and then smash it for 4 into the leg side. Pretty agricultural from Rana, but he's dragged it and got enough of it to get it for 4.
Yeah, mighty effective batting. As you say, it's not the most aesthetic shot you're going to see today. And it's outside off stump as well, and he's hauling a length delivery through the onside. But he's stuck to his guns, that's for sure, did Shankar Rana.
That shape that Karki's getting is pretty pronounced.
Oh, wow.
5 runs coming from the first over, score 5 for none. Where will the police club see the rest of this tournament going? They're going to be quite heavily reliant upon Pau and Saraf and Gulshan Jah. Karen KC, we haven't seen him turn up with the bat yet, but he's a great asset down the order.
Yeah, they've got plenty of ability, haven't they? And they'll be disappointed, of course. I'm just looking at that card. Just the 5 runs coming off that first over, but they've got a powerful looking batting order, and especially with the likes of Karen Casey coming in later in the order. But I think they'll be so disappointed with a win that they really had in there, almost within a whisker in that first game. But that will only give them the experience to take on and to try and build on during the course of this tournament. Yeah, the man back on strike is Paran Saraf, who impressed in that first game with 33 off 26. Something like that would be handy here, that's for sure.
Going to be left arm spin to get things going. Anil Karel from the market end of the ground. He's got the new ball to work with. Spin played such a big role already in this tournament. Just pulls out, as we see Sagar Dakal often do. Just trying to get a decent grip on the new white ball. 6 fielders on the offside, just 3 on the leg. It's a really stacked offside field. Starts with a beauty. This is angling down the leg side, just skidding on. Very good decision. Going to miss leg stump.
Yeah, one of those at first look, you think that might be tight, but it is drifting down. Always on the angle as well. It's got to do a bit more from that position.
Whenever you can see all 3 stumps as an umpire, it's usually a pretty good indication. It's going to be difficult. You're going to take something exceptional to have to give the LBW out. Tossed up. No real timing. This field can be exploited if Saraf looks to sweep in particular, but the line's going to be pretty clearly about a 4th or 5th stump outside off.
Yes, indeed. Because he's just the one, well, the 2 men back on the leg side.
There's some of our gathered dignitaries. Prashant Mala from the Cricket Association of Nepal, and Roshan Singh around as well. Great to have their support. They've obviously sanctioned this tournament. They think it's a really great thing. The Zara international sports team trying to bring club cricket back to prominence here in Nepal and bring the international sides in. This one's kept quite low and it's going to be given. Looked very adjacent on first look, and Pawan Saraf has been trapped right in front.
Well, there was a shout earlier in the over, but this was considerably closer. Just propping forward and went nowhere on the crease. That was his major problem. Just propping forward, and yes, and it's carrying on with the arm as well. And that's going to hit, well, leg stump halfway up. And I think he was resigned to his fate, to be honest.
Yeah, you can so often tell from a batter's reaction, and I think Pawan Saraf knew that he was just trapped. And this turnaround in fortunes for the home side continues, just skidding on, maybe only a hint to turn. It's hit him probably right around middle stump, as you say, going on to cannon into leg stump. A nod of the head from Vinay Kumar Jha, and Pawan Saraf has been dismissed for 1. The police 6 for 1.
Well, if the CR11 are to compete in this game, the key thing will be early wickets, won't it, in this power play? Put the Nepal Police Club on the back foot immediately. That will be the way forward.
Going to be Dilip Nath to the crease at number 3, and I think this is predominantly because he's a left-hander. They're going to send him in at 1 down to try and combat the left-arm spin threat from Karel. Amazing how much weight momentum carries, particularly in T20s, all ODI, all short form cricket, all white ball cricket that is, it's the same. But just the late runs, the late flourish added by the late order from the CAR 11, they've now taken that in and immediately started well with the ball and found the early breakthrough. Momentum, it's hard to define, but it's all important.
Yeah, they say, don't they, in sport, it's a myth, but or in cricket especially, you're absolutely right. You can be behind the 8 ball if you like, but if you do have a good finish, then it just gives you that confidence going into the next discipline that you're about to undertake.
Field again, an interesting one. Has gone with 4 on the leg side because he's turning the ball into the left-hander, but it's still a fairly packed ringside offside field. All of the fielders in the deep on the leg side. And it's just 2 at the moment, long on and deep mid-wicket in place. But nice to see the slip in there as Karki continues to attack as the skipper. Really good start. Just 1 run coming from the over. And the score after 2, it's 6 for 1.
Yeah, it's tight stuff, isn't it? In this first power play, on the first 6 overs of the power play, just 3 runs per over as far as the run rate is concerned, and this is the direction of travel really, to try and squeeze them all. If you can squeeze the batting side in the power play, then things only get harder when you come out of it, because the pressure just starts to build, and it doesn't look much of a total, but when you're going at 3s in the power play, you know, that gets up to 6. When the rate gets up and above 7, we've seen through the course of this tournament, life gets very, very difficult.
Lovely shots from in the pavilion. This play is watched on. Still just that hint of shape. You'd have to think for the police side here, surely they don't want to allow themselves to bring a required run rate into play. 4 or 5 tight overs in the early stages will bring a required run rate into play. Started out at less than a run a ball, it's now over a run a ball. They don't want it getting up to 7, 8, 9 and over.
Yeah, it becomes very difficult there. It really does, as we've seen. It's not the easiest surface to accumulate on, or to even step and get some big runs either.
Watchful in defence. The dot ball count has been higher than we'd expect at T20 level. I know the batting conditions are difficult, but some of the approaches, they haven't adjusted or adapted very well.
Yes, it's been an interesting bag, hasn't it, across the 2 days. And I think a little bit of mental scarring by some of the performances and people looking on and seeing how the pitch plays, but you kind of have got to put it out of your mind, really.
Yeah, so much of this game of ours, as we see a pretty poor effort at long on, cost a additional run till Bahadur Thapa just slipped in the deep. But so much of our game is played in the 6 inches above your eyes, in your head. I think it's the kind of surface that you don't want to read too much into. You've got to judge each ball on its merits.
Well, absolutely. As Adam Gilchrist said, very famously, the next ball you face in cricket is the most important event in your life, and that's how you should look at it.
Yeah, and it's an event-based sport, isn't it? It's like something like tennis or golf, whereby we have a piece of action, then we have a break and play repeatedly. Piece of action, quick single, that's fine. I'm down the non-strikers end now as a batter. My only focus is on my running. And it's very difficult mentally to switch on and off. If you try to stay mentally switched on for an entire match, particularly a test match innings, you'd be utterly drained by the time you're out there for an hour. So you have to have these little mental cues to switch off. Just take your time, take your breath at the non-strikers end now. Focus on your running, listen to your partner's call, and then when you get on strike, your only job is to deal with that event.
Absolutely. I think the thing is, the key is just not looking further ahead than what you've got in front of you. I think in another phrase in rugby parlance, they say play what's in front of your face.
Plays that down to third man. That'll be a quick single. Haven't seen, with the exception of the Push Delhi side, many good power plays. They've been the exception to the rule. They're top of the table because of it.
Yeah, it's been fairly hard, hasn't it, to get the ball away through the course of these contests. I think 59 without loss in the power play is the biggest we've had so far.
Not quite as big a crowd as yesterday, Super Saturday. Of course, Sunday, the first working day of the week here in Nepal. But we'll see the fans filter in predominantly for the afternoon games. I just nipped across the road this morning, pick up a bit of phone credit and popped into my regular shop that I go to each morning. And have a look at this. I don't think we'll be able to show it to you on screen, but our shopkeeper, she was watching on live on AP1 HD on her phone. How good is that?
You can't say fairer than that, can you? Growing the global game one phone at a time.
Yeah, I won't be able to show you that image, but it was lovely to see, just to get a sense, and that's only 40, 50 yards away from the ground. Do get in touch with us, of course, as well. You can use that hashtag 23forever, or send me a tweet or a direct message on Instagram. It's the same handle, @cricketbadge. That's the word cricket, followed by the word badge, B-A-D-G-E. You can get in touch with me, Andrew Leonard, or if you have any questions for Johnny Barron, we'll read those out. Use that hashtag 23forever. Twitter, Instagram. We are on Facebook as well. You can get me on there. But yeah, we'll answer those questions coming up in probably the middle overs when the seamers are bowling. And speaking of seamers, a really talented young one coming into the team. That's Durgesh Gupta, the left armour. He's going to come in from the market end of the ground.
Yeah, he's a little expensive in the first game of the tournament. 1 for 36 off his 4, so an economy rate of 9. You probably want to improve on that today. It'll be interesting to see if he just uses a couple more variations. We have seen the ball come onto the bat with the seamers. Amazing. Yeah, just looking at that. Oh, there we are. I'd like that photo, please. That is an amazing photograph. If you could send that on, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, I don't know if commentary cam's going to be able to show that up. We might ask our little helper here after this ball to see if you can get that quite close to the screen, and that's going to show off this photo. So we'll ask the boys after this ball to maybe come to that screen, see if we can get that photo. Here comes Durgesh Gupta. Big shot attempted into the leg side. It'll just be a single out to the protection in the deep, but maybe just come up to commentary cam, see if we can show you that photo there. You can't show the photo. Okay, not possible. Technical difficulties up here. Anyway, it was a lovely snap of the shopkeeper watching on live on AP1 HD.
Well, it is fantastic. I mean, I think that's my favourite image of this entire tour so far. Quite amazing. Lovely to see, isn't it?
And just as we speak about that, the first message gets sent in using that hashtag 23forever. This one from Bibek Bashyal, and he's watching on the laptop. There he is, having a look at Johnny and Lenny enjoying the action. That does show up. Come on, you can see that. There it is. Lots of action here and lovely. Thanks for all your messages. Use that hashtag 23forever and send them into @cricketbadge, and we'll get those read out over the next couple of overs. And use that hashtag AP1 HD live as well. Great work by the AP1 team as always. Going to get better and better, all building up to the grand final next Saturday, 2 o'clock. Going to be a great day that next week.
Won't it just? A festival of cricket to come between now and then. Rich entertainment through the course of the first couple of days. And there is that picture once again.
Slower ball, pitched outside leg, so can't be given out. Will be probably leg buys. I don't think there was bat involved. And our technical team are working wonders. Look at this. Here it is, Johnny. Take a look at the replay first. Yeah, definitely pitchy inside leg, the off cutter from Gupta. But this is just across the road, maybe 40 or 50 yards across. And you can see it there. There it is. God, it's all happening. So the AP one, I can't work it out. There it is. There. You can see the footage all around the shopkeeper. And lovely to go across and get a Coke this morning. Oh, mix up. This could be a run out. Doesn't even need a direct hit. Oh, this has been given out. Did the keeper take the bails off cleanly? Either way, Dilip Nath is going to have to go. And a calamitous run out. He slipped as well. Seraph Canal did the fielding. And he's ended up with dust all over him. What has happened here? Should this have been given out?
Well, I have to say, on first look, it looked like he was out out for all money, but it would be interesting to see on the replay. Well, this is the problem. This is what stuffed him, isn't it? It's a lovely pick up and throw.
I just wonder, did he drop the ball? That's my question, Johnny. I think this should have come upstairs.
I think you're right. I'm not sure he's got control of the ball at the moment at which the stumps are broken. I think that's the problem with that one.
Add insult to injury, Johnny. He's got a kit full of dust. We're going to take another look at this. He's no doubt he's out. But here we go. Look at the keeper. That ball, for me, is dropped. And we have the third umpire in place for that exact reason. One more look at this. Here we go. Dropped out. Bails taken. I don't know. That would have been a very difficult decision for the third umpire.
Yeah, well, I have to say, Andrew, you picked it in real time. That's impressive. I must admit, from my angle here, I thought it was gone. But you just noticed that the ball just flicking out of his gloves, and it is definitely not out. And that is an interesting, controversial moment in the game.
We love controversy. We love drama. Spotted a mile away. I think it should have been set up to the third umpire, but the umpire got the finger up. And in fairness to him, the only thing I would say, he would have been unsighted to that because the keeper's body would have been in the way. Gulshan Jha to the crease, and it's time for a bit of a recovery job, isn't it? There's 2 wickets inside the first 4 overs. It's going to be a wide outside the off stump. And I think the police, they're in trouble here. How are they getting back into this game?
Well, they've got the man with the experience of almost pulling the Nepal Police Club into a winning position, of course, in that first game. Gulshan Jha, who batted absolutely superbly, nearly taking 19 off that final over. But yeah, looking once again at this, and that ball is out of the gloves there. That's not out, I'm afraid.
I think the really interesting thing on that is the ball was out of the gloves. The first bell was knocked off by his gloves. There's actually a chance that then it was the ball that knocked the second bail off. I think that would have been an incredibly difficult third umpire decision, because if the ball, with the way it was flicked and parried and dropped accidentally by the keeper onto the stumps, you could see it here, it's actually come out of his gloves, and as it went, maybe the ball then flicked onto the other bail and knocked that off. So we could have ended up with the right decision. Who knows? Either way, it's out. Oh, that is a glorious drive. 17 years of age, he bowls 140 kilometres an hour. He strolls out at number 4. He plays a shot like that. Gulshan Jha.
Well, remember this kid's name because he's a real talent. We saw that in the first game with a real all-round performance, and that is a beautiful cover drive. Just leaning on it, really, outside the off stump. Just holding the pose for extra cover. It's a lovely bit of batting.
What you would give to be Gulshan Jha. The future all ahead of him. Batting, bowling, fielding, and probably the most exciting period in the history of Nepali cricket. The Cricket Association of Nepal have got everything together. Everest Premier League's ahead of them, Cricket World Cup League 2 series, hopefully World Cups to come, particularly I think 2024 surely is going to be the target with that expansion to 20 teams. So unlucky to miss out for 2022 for later this year to the big dance. The future is so bright.
It is indeed. sitting at 12th in the international rankings, which is literally just a fraction away from the full members. Very impressive effort. They've come so far in so little time.
Yeah, it's almost as important, your on-field performance, as what's going on off the pitch these days. You've got to get your administration right. And for many years, when originally the board here was suspended by the ICC, there was issues. But now everything's come together. Binod Das and all of his executive team alongside the board have things united again. The potential for the game here is huge. It really is. Events like this, the Fancy Ekara Pro Club Championship, the Everest Premier League, and all the international games, it just gives such opportunities for these young cricketers. And if you're watching on at home, you're a 13 or 14-year-old boy or girl, you dream of playing for the national side, you're going to have plenty of opportunities in years to come. Train hard and enjoy it, because you've got every chance to go on and enjoy a big future. Spin continues, but in a change of ends, this time coming in from the pavilion end of the ground. Anil Karel into the attack. The left-arm spinners, they've been dominant, Johnny.
Well, they have, haven't they? They picked up wickets all the way through the course of the competition, and they've been, well, bold at every opportunity, really. And especially against the right hand. It's very difficult, isn't it? Ball going away, and the turn variations, a little bit of variable bounce as well.
Yeah, coming a leg.
Been very, very useful indeed. It's a slightly different affair, of course, against the left-handers. And they've got slightly more ease to play them, of course, with the ball turning back into them, slightly more shot options available to them.
Going to come around the wicket to the left-hander. Punched away again. Big ring field on the offside. All 5 fielders in the offside are up in the 30-yard circle. And the protection's out at deep mid-wicket and long on.
Yeah, understandably, with the ball turning back into the left-hander, that's where you need your cover, out there on the rope just below us.
Oh, fortune this time. How's this one missed, Johnny?
Well, pressure is building, isn't it? That run rate is starting to move forwards. 4.29 is the current run rate, so the run rate is up and above 7 now.
And the tweet's coming in to me at Cricket Badge from Gorkhali Foodie. I'm a foodie too, mate. Umpire's decision, last decision. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Maybe should have gone up and given it the third umpire. I think it might have actually ironically ended up as being out. But one of those ones that was just so tight. You have to have control of the ball in your hands when the stumps are broken. And clearly he dropped it. He might have accidentally flicked it on to knock off what was the leg bail, though. Slashed away off his own bowling. He's had a great day with the bat, and he started brilliantly with the ball.
Well, hasn't he just? Because that is hit hard. I mean, that's the kind of thing that would be 3 bounces and over the ropes. And he stuck his hands out, bravely, to be honest. And it was never in doubt, was it? It was a terrific reaction catch, because that is coming back at a fair leg.
And he's just inspecting his fingers to make sure they're still on his hand, because it was hit with such power. Really was a brilliant catch. Definitely the grab of the tournament so far. You sometimes see on the Sky Sports coverage, the likes, they give you the reaction timer. You're talking about milliseconds here. Probably would have been something like 0.2 seconds, something like that. He would have had to react to that. So caught and bowled chances, when they're hit that firmly, are incredibly instinctual.
They are indeed. It was a terrific bit of work. It really was. Big moment in the game.
Big hit. New man to the crease has taken on the fielder in the deep, but he's going to perish to another good catch. It's 2 in the over. Tul Bahadur Thap has clung on to a specky, and Bishal Bikram KC is having a day out to remember.
Well, he is indeed. He's gone in the leg side, but he hasn't gone quite big enough. Arjun Saud, it's a big strike, and he got into a pretty good position, but he found the man, and he had to make a good bit of work to his right-hand side, and it's a tumbling catch in front of the pavilion. And it's very nicely taken indeed. And they're out cricket, you have to say, but the CRL 11 has been absolutely superb. 2 massive takes in this over.
Easily could have been 2 boundaries. Would have been 8 runs. Instead, it's no runs and 2 wickets. What a start for Bishal Bikram KC. 2 for 2 in the over. And is that a game-changing over? He's given his side some hope with the bat with that innings of 29 off 25 deliveries. Great technique this. Watch, he's taken the catch and then made sure to roll onto his back to make sure it couldn't pop out, and then flung it miles into the sky. Big trouble for the police. And it's going to be Prem Tamang to the crease to try and rescue things. I'm not sure whether or not it's salvageable unless there's going to be a Karen KC masterclass. Right now, the CAR 11, they're on top. We'll have a change in the commentary box. I'll bid you a fond farewell with one more look at this catch. We'll pass over to Johnny Barron, who will have Paresh Lahani now joining him.
Well, this game very much in the balance, isn't it? 87 required off 78 balls. That's the main equation, but the big problem is they're 4 down already, and they're just going at 4.43 as well. 31 for 4 thus far. And the CAR 11, 1 win in the group thus far, but they're in real danger. Well, sorry, 1 win in the group so far, and they've got every chance of potentially getting another one here, because their out cricket has been absolutely superb.
The equation is not a problem. The wickets are the problem.
Absolutely, that is the main problem here. Is that second column, Paresh Lahani, former Nepalese captain, is alongside me. Great to have his experience and insight.
Bashir Ahmad bowling on the right spot. A rather lazy attempt by Bikram Bishal there.
Yes, and a single added. Well, it's going to be quite interesting to see how Shankar Rana goes about things. A little shout for LBW, but that is definitely drifting down, it's safe to say.
A rather optimistic appeal. You could see the 3 stumps. Well, car 11 at the top at the moment. Nepal Police Club, they are 32 for 4 in 31, 7.3 overs.
He'll nudge back the bowler. Another dot, and well, that equation will get harder. The coach looking on, he's probably a fraction concerned at this stage.
Oh, that's pretty well hit by Sankarana. Takes 2. Good running there. Now Sankarana has to play a bit of a shot. He has to go through the innings, get the current rate up. That was beautifully played it late.
A little bit there.
after legend Shane Warne, the late Shane Warne.
Yes, one incredible cricketer Shane Warne was, of course. Forever 23. And that was his shirt number. What a terrific performer he was. Over 1,000 international wickets across ODIs and Test matches and T20s. Extravagant turn. And must have been tight for being a wide, that one, I have to say. Wide of off stump and going wider.
I think Bhushal is in a good momentum, in a good, control of the ball, because wrist spinners are very difficult to bowl. Look at that length and to turn, Johnny.
Yeah, perfect. Always keeps you honest as a batter, doesn't it? Just continuing to hammer away outside that off stump. Looking to cut off the back foot is Prem Tamang, but it's a very difficult length to get away from. Another nice bit of bowling again. Batsmen having a little chat, aren't they, to reassess.
Yet another beautiful delivery, the length and the turn. It didn't turn much. He bowled this ball a bit quicker. That is why the batsman was beaten.
Oh, just spun outside the off stump. Spun outside that little push from Tamang as well. For a moment I thought he'd taken the outside edge, but it's another excellent bit of bowling.
It's really remind me of the late Shane Warne. The ball he bowls, the leg spinners he bowled, the turn that he got. The Mike Gatting wicket was unbelievable.
Another swing and a miss outside the off stump. And is that a maiden? It is. And that's a fantastic follow-up, isn't it? Wicket in the 2 wickets in the previous over. And now 84 runs required off to 66. And 34 for 4 off 9 overs. And the Nepal Police Club are in real bother here. Well, they were very unlucky to miss out winning the first game. They've got to win today, you feel. And there's a long, long way back.
Look at the bowling card. Krishna Kaki, 2 overs, 10 runs. Anil Khalil, 2 overs, 6 runs for 1. Bowled very well. Bikram Bhushal, 1 maiden. Bashir Ahmad, 1 over, 3 runs given. Durgesh Gupta, 2 overs, 12. And Vishal B. Casey, 1 over, 2 runs, 2 wickets.
And back live. Basir Ahmed is the man with ball in hand. Not a left armour. Cut away, but it's a great bit of work at backward point. The fielding has been truly excellent in this CRR 11.
Very good fielding there. He saved 2 runs for his team. That is the attitude, that is the commitment you should show in the field. Support your bowlers, support your captain.
Swing and a miss. I think that might be close, and it is. Very close indeed. And oh dear, major problems. These wickets keep on tumbling. It's now 35 for 5, and we're only in the 10th over.
Yeah, Nepal Police Club in deep, deep trouble. Let's see at the replay. Did it hit the first pad and then the back pad? You'll have to see that again.
Yeah, Tamang has to go. LBW Damad. 9 runs to his name, and more trouble. More trouble for the Nepal Police Club. Yeah, just going through the wickets here so far.
Beautifully driven there by Gulshan Jha. yet another back foot square dive. That was a catch. What a catch he took. It was hit very fiercely. Like what Andrew said, it would have cleaned the umpire up. This catch is also a very good catch.
Yeah, brilliant catch in the deep. And, well, this was the LBW, I think, which I think was pretty close, to be fair, on first look. And here's the car 11 bowling car, which is pretty impressive. Krishna Karki, none for 10 off his 2. Misley at 5. Anil Karel, he bowled very well. 1 for 6 off a couple of overs. Bikram Busal has been excellent as well. Just a maiden so far, I can't say better than that. Bashir Ahmad, yeah, 1 for 4 off 1.3. Durgesh Gupta as well. None for 12 off his 2. And Vishal BKC, can't say fairer than that, can you? 2 for 2
Captain.
off his 1 over thus far. And that might be the game-changing over, actually. That was over number 7. And that has put the real horrible complexion on this Nepal Police Club card. 35 for 5. Not missing any of the action because there's a drinks break at the moment. But Saraf, well, he was LBW to Karel first up. Rana is still there on 16 not out off 22. And there is a lot of work to be done. 83 required in 63 balls. So the equation is still manageable. The main problem for them, Paresh, is the fact they've lost 5 wickets so far.
Yeah, they have lost the half side of the team. But if Manjeet Shrestha goes going, they might come through. He's a very good hitter of a ball.
Yeah, well, the skipper, he's got it all to do, safe to say. And he's got time. That's the main thing. No real reason to panic. Still 10.1 overs to go. Skipper's been there and seen it all before, of course. An audacious attempt at a shot, trying to flick it down the leg side. Got caught in 2 minds, and the ball bobbles away. Well, that's another very good over. Just 1 conceded from it, and, well, just 1 run conceded off the last couple of overs. And, of course, before that, 2 wickets fell. This has been a very key pasture play for the CR11, who played brilliantly, though, so far. And Nepal Police Club are 35 for 5 after 10.
Yeah, Pawan Sharaf didn't too much. Played 6 ball for a run. Shankar Rana is still there, 22 of 16. Dilip Nath run out, 2 of 6. Gulshan Jha, 11 of 12. Saud, none. He didn't score any run. Faced 2 balls.
Chop away on the offside.
Bikram Bhushal, I think he has got his control now. The last game, he didn't have that kind of control, which he has in this game.
Thinking about a quick single, they get through on this occasion, and that will push into cover.
The car 11, they wouldn't mind singles. 1 run, 3 runs taken in over. But I'm very impressed with Bikram Bhushal. He's bowling in a very tight line and length.
Yes, he's bowled absolutely superbly, hasn't he? Always good to see the leggies in show. A little bit of turn outside the off stump.
Yeah, he's mixing the pace of the ball. He's giving air, which turns a lot. And he's bowling a bit flatter, that turns a bit.
Yeah, 82 off 57. Still 5 wickets left in hand. These 2 have the opportunity to, Paresh, just to manoeuvre the ball for a bit. There's no point panicking at this stage.
Yes, exactly. I mean, still 5 wickets to go. Karan Casey yet to come. Manjeet Shrestha is also not a mug with the bat.
Nice looking shot, actually, just flicking it down the leg side. The key for the skipper and the Nepal police side is just waiting for it and just flicking it round the corner.
Bikram Vishal trying to turn the ball from the leg stump, which it didn't.
Wide of that off stump and laced through the cover region. Just be a single though. 80 on 54 required. 11 overs, 38 for 5. 80 on 54 is the equation that we're looking at. And Paresh, you know, they've still got 5 wickets in hand. It's not the biggest total by any stretch of the imagination. There's still a great opportunity just to work their way up towards getting over the line.
Yeah, but the main problem is the current rate is only 3.45. The required rate is creeping up. So they have to maintain that.
Yeah, having a look at a very nervous looking police club balcony. Oh, hauled into the onside. And he's got a massive piece of that. He really has, and that's the kind of impetus we need. Great looking shot by Shankarana. Terrific pickup.
Beautifully picked up, dancing down the track, hitting against the spin. Wide long on for a 6. Look at that, hitting against the spin. I think the ball didn't turn. Wide long on for a 6.
Yeah, nice pickup. And that just changes the complexion a little. The run rate is still 3.94, but it's always good to get a 6 off the first ball of the over. And the main thing is he's hauling with the spin, and also with the wind, I should say, out towards that leg stump. But yeah, we've got one of those situations again where we've lost a cricket ball. We've lost many. In fact, there's a cricket manufacturer just behind the ground who must be doing a roaring trade across this competition so far, Paresh, because, well, we've lost about 15 balls thus far. And, yeah, that little shop, which is literally just behind us over there, might send a camera around there at some stage to see if they're actually making them in real time. But another ball has been lost. A little punch off the back foot. Backs through backward point. And a single. 74 runs required off 53 balls. That target, as we know, is 118. 44 for 5, and the second factor is a problem. They've got 2 backward points, because you have to say the line of attack and the shot being offered, that's a good idea, Paresh.
Yeah, that's a very good comeback by the bowler there.
Down the ground again. It's smashed down the ground. Has he got all of it? He has. For 4 runs. Couple of bounces. Straight down the ground towards the market end. Another nice looking shot by Shankarana.
Now I think the momentum is shifting towards the Nepal Police Club a little bit. 10 runs so far off this over, 2 balls to go.
Absolutely, and it's exactly the kind of impetus we're looking for. Sharp for LBW. That's not a million miles away, and it's given. Oh dear. And he doesn't like the look of the decision either, this Shankarana, but he's got to go. Well, he's still there. He's going to have to wander off at some stage, because that was out. And that was given out, and finally he drags himself off the field of play. He's not happy.
Let's look at the replay.
Last ball.
He's a short guy, probably height has been maybe the problem there. But he's a very short guy. I think that is why the umpire was disguised by that.
Yeah, Paresh, that's an interesting one, I
Captain,
think. It does look as if that's bounced.
120.
It's hit him on the thigh pad, but he's not a tall guy. one of those that might be clipping on umpire's call. It's a tight one certainly, but it's another wicket. Just at that, having 10 runs off the over and then a wicket, it's just another momentum change again, Paresh.
Yes, exactly. Karan Casey now coming there to bat with the captain Manjit Shrestha. Both are big hitters of the ball. If Nepal Police win, these two have to stay till the end.
They have indeed. Two experienced campaigners. Karan Casey, a wonderful talent with bat and ball, as we know. And they've got the experience. 70 runs off 49 balls required. Run rate 8.57, which is not easy to skate at that kind of rate. Almighty go, he does! Leading edge. And Karan Casey goes. And well, what an over. We've had a couple of boundaries and now a couple of wickets. And oh dear, Nepal Police Club, well, they're subsiding here now. 48 for 7 off 12 overs.
Yeah, and Basir Ahmed is on a hat-trick. Has he bowled his full quota of overs? He just tried to... He closed the bat too early. That is why he got the leading edge. And straight to the bowler. Well bowled, young lad.
Well, 70 off 48 required. That run rate 8.75. Yeah, just early on the shot, trying to turn it in the leg side. And it's a very comfortable catch for what has been a rather mixed bag as an over, really, isn't it? Couple of wickets, couple of boundaries. Never fails to entertain this game, Paresh.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Shankar Rana hit a 6 and a 4, and then he got out. And then Karan Casey went on the first ball.
Ball.
And that is over as well. And yes, 48 for 7 after 12. I think we've got another ball in the air. We're not happy with that one, are we? Oh, here we go. Another ball into the equation. It is all happening here, it's safe to say. Roshan Budal is the latest bowler into the equation. And, well, it's been a terrific effort, you have to say, for the CR11 under all sorts of pressure. Leg spinner will continue up here from the market end. Nearly another one. Nearly played on first ball. That would have been a quite brilliant wicket as well to come. 2 in the previous over. We had 2 in the 7th over, of course. Lots of drama, Paresh.
Yeah, Manjit, I think he wanted to get the ball to Lumbini. That is how he swung his bat. We don't see that much of leave in T20 cricket.
No, we've seen a few leaves, haven't we, in the last couple of days. Very rarely see it. But understandably, with the resources at a premium. Looking for a run through the backward point area. Doesn't get it. Yeah, all these dots just continue to cause all sorts of problems. And he comes again. That's the 50 up finally for the Nepal Police Club. Boy, it's taken a while to get there. 12.3 overs, 7 wickets back in the hut as well. 68 runs off 44 required. Another leg spinner just chopped into the offside by Shrestha. It's been actually, do you know what? Bikram Kumar Busal's length and line has been immaculate, hasn't it, today?
Yeah, I think he has worked on his bowling after the last match they played. He didn't have a good outing last match. Excellent over, only 2 runs off it. 13 gone, 50 for 7.
Thanks, Paresh, and we'll have a commentary change as Andrew Leonard will return into the commentary box.
Krishnakaki has the bowling card, 2 overs, 10 runs for Nola, a wicket. And this is a very sorry reading scorecard, Andrew. Welcome back.
Hello, Tony. How are you?
So what did he do?
I was just over with our friend in the shop, wasn't I?
Ah, okay.
Well, popped over, a quick little drink, and she said to me, "Was I on TV?" And I said, "You were." I said, "You were." Had a quick drink and popped over. And yeah, have a look at this tweet. This one coming from Carol Powan. Lovely to hear from you, Carol. How are things? How many pitches have been used in this tournament, and how does it compare to the TU International Cricket Ground there in Kathmandu? So, to answer your question, Carol, there are just 2 wickets in use for this entire tournament. There's actually 5 on the square here. And the TU International Cricket Ground would probably have 8 wickets, but they would tend to, for a tournament of this length, they might use 3 pitches instead. But we're using 2. We'll be alternating between them. This is the 2nd day in a row on this wicket. This one's down the leg side, will be signalled wide. There is a bit of turn on offer, there's no doubt, but the batting approach has been the problem as much as the high quality spin bowling.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Anil Kharel is bowling pretty well. Just drifting the ball to the leg side for a wide. In deep trouble, Nepal Police Club 52 for 7 in the 14th over.
And interestingly, of course, it was 53 for 6 that the CAR 11 were. Pretty similar scores. This one's angling probably down the leg side. Big moment, wasn't it, that decision to give out Shankar Rana, who was just starting to get going. He just hit 2 boundaries in the over. And then he's hit probably, about the midriff or lower thigh pad. This one clearly angling down. Going to go on with the arm. Bowler was pretty interested. But Rana wasn't happy, Paresh.
Yeah, he wasn't happy and he just waited there, stayed there.
Too high this time. That's why this one's been given out. Certainly going on to hit the line of the stumps, but it would have bounced over them. Let's take a look. This is bounced heavily up. Probably he's going to miss the top of the stumps by 9 inches or so.
Yeah, Manjit is a tall guy. That is why it was not given out.
Problem for me, though, is that this approach is doing the home side no favours. I know it's difficult when you're 7 wickets down. Have to show some positive intent. Now, that doesn't mean you need to hit every ball for 6 or 4. Play positive strokes, long off and long on or down the ground. Try to bunt the ball down to them, which he does this time. Get the single, start to rotate the strike, put pressure back on the bowlers. The approach of not just today's batters, generally the batting has been reasonably poor, with the exception really of Rohit Paudel.
Yeah, exactly. The approach is very wrong. They need to rotate the strike.
Again there, another defensive stroke attempted. You've only got 120 balls to score runs from. You continue to chew up dots, it's going to put your side in trouble, and that's exactly where the police are. 14 gone. It's 53 for 7.
After the completion of 14 overs,
Bowling card there, Krishnakaki 2 overs for 10. Anil Kharel 3 overs, 9 for 1. Bikram Bhushal 3 overs, only given 5 runs and take
7 wickets.
maiden over as well. Bashir Ahmed 3 overs, 14 for 3. Durgesh Gupta 2 overs, 12 for none. Vishal BKC 1 over 2 runs. Krishnakaki, the captain himself, coming into the attack.
Tony, how's Bishal Bikram KC only bowled 1 over? He took 2 for 2 in it.
We'll have to ask the captain for that. We have no idea.
You're the local man. You're the man with the inside knowledge. What's going on? Surely you've got to keep him going.
That must be the idea. I mean, he bowled so well, and he's bowled only 2 overs.
unless he bowls overs 16, 18 and 20, he now can't be used for his full allocation of 4 overs. So a bit of a strange move, but I suppose the big benefit that the home side have, the CAR 11 have, is something that the police club didn't do. They've used 6 bowlers, so they've allowed themselves that flexibility. Whoever's going well continues, whoever maybe gets hit for a few runs comes off. Instead, it was the opposite approach from Manjit Trestra and the police club. He only used the 5 bowlers. Meant he didn't have a lot of flexibility. Going to be captain v captain. And the first round goes to the police because Trestra has smashed this one through the offside. It was a slower ball, clearly picked. Going to need plenty more of that. 4 runs to the total.
Slower ball and on the length. That should have been hit out from the boundary. What Manjit Shrestha did. Look at that shot. 4 runs and extra cover.
Dug in. I think this might have come off the glove. Big appeal and given. Shrestha had that resigned look and Karki bounces back and he gives the salute. Off you go, policeman. You're gone.
Yeah, exactly, Andrew. That is what he did. Saluted the policeman, the captain, and
yeah, see if we can see this celebration here. It was clearly out. Went over to Karki. Off you go, sir. You might be a sergeant in the police, but you're not good enough for my medium pace. You are gone.
Absolutely, Manjit Shrestha couldn't do anything. Chitra Bahadur Besta, the new man in.
Yeah, very clever bowling. The previous one was full and straight, and he danced down the track and smashed it for 4. And Karki digs this one in, doesn't he love it? Not quite the full Sheldon Cottrell salute, but pretty close to it. And lovely to see the passions and flair and celebrations, and that's a long, slow, lonely walk even for the skipper off. He knows his side are staring down the barrel of a heavy defeat that's going to leave them on the verge of elimination.
Yes, exactly. And your question to the answer, why hasn't Vishal Bikram Casey hasn't bowled the 3 overs and he's taken 2 wickets? Krishna Kaki gave you the answer.
Oh, Paresh. Wow, that's a bit feisty to start a Sunday morning. We're on a sleepy start to a Sunday morning. We're rubbing that one in my face a little bit, aren't we? Yeah, remember you can tweet us using that hashtag 23forever and AP1 Live HD. And I promise you that Paresh, Tony Lahani and I will not fall out in the commentary box. But if you have any questions for Paresh or for I, make sure to tag me in that cricket badge and I'll try to get those read out, with this game really only going one way barring some kind of a miracle. Can't quite see Roshan Budal and Chitra Bista even having enough to get over the line. I just have to question the approach. Far too many dot balls. No positivity in the batting. It's a runner ball. Yes, the batting conditions are difficult. That's the moon slower ball, the really slow one from Krishna Karki. But even in difficult conditions, you have to find a way.
Yes, exactly. The approach should be positive. That is what Rohit Paudel did yesterday, the second match. Nepal Army versus Armed Police Force. He assessed the pitch from the start, from when he went to bat in the crease. And after the 15, NPC are 59 for 8.
He has one camera that's just on those flags. So the state of play in the chase, it's a pretty sorry one for the police club, with the exception of that effort from Rana, who made 28 from 30. But every time it looks like they're going to get going and string something together, a wicket seems to fall.
Yeah, the scorecard looks like a phone number 0170310. Whose number is that?
Oh, we might have to try it out. See what happens. Who are we speaking to? Andrew Leonard here. But speaking of special times, we've got coming up some really good ones, because the Nepali New Year just around the corner. We do see the man on a hat-trick coming back in to the attack. So here he is. Can he close out a hat-trick? Heaved into the leg side. It's going to fly in between the fielders. Runs and evasive action taken in the deep. 4 to the total.
Yeah, they need plenty of those. I think 4 in and over to just get that momentum.
Bazir Ahmed back into the attack. He's already taken 3 wickets, 3 for 18 he has into his 4th over. Just sense that unless it was Karen KC at the crease, who obviously was disappointingly dismissed from his first delivery, unless it was him here, really it's going to need a miraculous effort from this pair. But let's hope they at least are going to go down fighting.
He's trying to get a wicket, lobbing it in. In a hat-trick ball, I didn't see any slip or silly point or short mid-wicket.
Down the track, big hit attempted, hitting with the wind. And he's going to get more than enough of it to not just get it for 6, but get it over the retaining fence. That's more like it. Where has this young man been throughout the batting so far? Roshan Budal has smashed this all the way for 6. Really good use of the feet. 6 to the total.
Look at the hit across the spin. Down to mid-wicket region for 6. That is the 25th 6 of the tournament. Today is just 3rd day.
Yeah, correct. We did just miss 1 ball there, but that was just through to the keeper. No run to the total. 47 off 25. It's under 2 a ball. Maximum's help. And can't keep the strike sharp turn. Very difficult to play that delivery. 4 overs remain. It's 71 for 8.
After the completion of 16 overs, score for Nepal Police Club is 71 for 8 wickets.
There's the Nepali flag flying proudly, also giving you a sense of the wind that's blowing across the ground from right to left as you look now. Question coming in here to me at Cricket Badge on Instagram. This is from Ram Krishna Chap again, saying, we love all of your commentary, guys. Thanks so much. He's asking me, what about Bashka, the one New Year? That's on the 14th of April, is it? Tell me about that, Paresh.
Sorry, I have no idea about that. Probably he knows.
Okay, so it's the Nepali New Year on the 14th of April. That'll get us into 2079. And we'll look forward to that.
I know about that. It's a Nepali New Year. I thought you said Pascha or something like that. That's why I said I have no idea about it.
Stay with me, Tony. Stay with me. It's only day 3. We've got 6 more to get through after this. We've got to get to day 9. And you need to stay with me. Here comes the leg spinner. Michelle Vikram KC to bowl. Oh, beautifully bowled. That's the perfect leg break. Angling and a little bit of drift in, pitching on off stump and just turning away.
Yes, Bikram Bhushal has done his homework. He was not that consistent in the last game that he played.
I think he's bowled beautifully. I was actually talking to him a little bit about his technique, and I was trying to encourage him to more and more use his front arm. And if he can use that front arm more and more and get all his body weight, his trajectory, his momentum going towards the target of either the top of off stump, or what I like to used to do is look at the 2 keepers' gloves. So watch the keeper's gloves. He should extend them out here and give a target for the leg spinner to bowl to. There they are. Look at that. Get your body weight going towards those. It's a very fine shot though. good use of the feet down the track, and good reward for 4. Not too much wrong with the delivery, but good batting.
Yes, exactly. He came down the track on the pitch of the ball and hit it all along the ground. Yeah, you can see that. Beautifully done.
I think both of these two sides need to take a look at their batting order, because Roshan Budal, all the way down at number 9, is looking much more accomplished than much of his top order. This time shorter, flatter through the air, and a yelp of frustration from Budal. He feels like he's missed out there.
Yes, probably he had missed out, but it was too close to cut the ball.
Beautifully bowled. Really good spinner. It's been a fine display of leg spin bowling by a talented young cricketer. Bikram Bushell hasn't picked up a wicket yet, but he does have a maiden, and any time you go for anything less than 20, whatever the conditions, in your 4 overs of leg spin, it's a really good return. Been impressive today. Finishes with a dot ball. A fine spell. 4 overs, 1 maiden, none for 11 for him.
Yeah, he's done his homework all right. Thanks to you, Andrew, that you went and talked to him. That is what he did. The main is the spot, the length and the line.
He bowls his leg breaks at a really nice pace as well. I think he's full of talent, full of potential. Look forward to seeing him, the 22-year-old. There is the afternoon sides just coming in. The Dhaka team who will be playing this afternoon. They'll be taking on the Nepal Army side in the afternoon game. So we actually switch groups today. The morning action is coming from Group A, but the afternoon action will come from Group B. And you'd have to think that the Army side are going to really fancy their chances. I just wonder, will that maybe be a little bit of a mismatch? They were outstanding in beating the armed police force. Surely they're going to go past the Dhaka side this afternoon. Lots of runs needed here at the death, and it's been a pretty good start. Should pick up a couple. Oh, that's poor running. You have to get back for 2, get the 4-man onto strike Roshan Budal, but they've only run a single.
Yeah, Budal, 19 or 14. He should take most of the strike now.
Have to run 2 here. He's clearly slipped as Durgesh Gupta. 42 and off 17. Punch down the ground, that's good. We'll get Roshan Budal onto strike. Is there any chance he can do this? It would be a heist that they'd pull off here, the police side.
Yes, you can never say. I mean, you can even get 26 of 6 balls.
Going to be a wide, that'll help outside the off stump. I think you probably need to look at the penultimate over, the 19th over. May well be a seamer bowling with it. That's got to be your big one. You're probably not going to get more than 8 or 10 off the spinner's over.
Karel trying to bowl a bit wide, but bowl a bit wider.
Down the track, and a very good adjustment because he was in trouble. If he continued to come down and look to complete that shot, he would have been stumped without doubt. Instead, he checked his feet and just patted it down for a quick one.
Yeah, that is what he's I saw that he's a very intelligent batsman.
Big swing and a miss, and it's not the shot that Bista needs to play. They just need to be scoring off every delivery. Dots are very, very costly right now. Karen KC, not too often you don't see him smiling. He looks very concerned.
Anil Karel. Clean them up. Very good bowling. Anil Karel, 3.5 overs, 13 for 2.
Completely headless batting though. Haven't assessed the situation. Yes, you need more than 2 a ball, but you're not going to do it in this over. He's looked for glory, got nowhere near the ball, missed it by nearly a bat's length, and the middle stump is rocked back. Karel holds his nerve, but not a shot. Chitra Vista is going to want to see again, and he's left his partner short. He's made 4 off 10, would you believe? And the man at the other end is running out of partners because Roshan Budal's got 21 off 16 and he must be questioning what his teammates are doing.
Sagar Dakal comes in, 11 number batsman. That's a nothing shot. The head was, I think the head was searching for the helicopter up in the sky.
Think of all the pieces of batting, and it's harsh because he's a number 10 batter, but of all the pieces of batting that we've seen this week, you have to assess the situation. You have to say, I've got a partner who's going pretty well here. As soon as you come down the track, you bring the stumping into play. You're not going to get the 37 runs that you require off that over. It's just not going to happen. But if you can get that over away for 8, then it would have become 30 off 2, and you've got a chance with the extra pace on the ball coming back, with Seamers probably bowling the last 2 overs. And number 11, he's going to take the single. I'm not too sure about that either, because what that means is that he'll have the strike, Sagar Dakal. 12 deliveries remain, and it's a fairly fanciful 36 to win now.
Score for Nepal Police Club is 82 for 9 wickets. Now 36 runs required in 2
Now let's look at the bowling card. Full quota, 4 overs by Anil Kharel, 14 for 2. Vikram Bhushal bowled very well, one maiden, 4 overs 11. Bashir Ahmed 4 over 26 for 3. Durgesh
Make it
Gupta
quick,
2
boys.
overs 12 for no wicket. Vishal BKC 1 over 2 runs 2 wickets. Krishna Karki, the captain himself, coming back into the attack.
Yeah, so there will be a little bit of additional pace on the ball for the home side to work with. Again, I think Sagar Dakal has just one job here. Get a single, get off strike, give your partner some sort of a chance. Smashed down the ground by Dakal. He's done exactly what he needed to. Just getting a bit of news as well. Bishal Bikram KC is actually off the field. I'm not too sure what's happened to him, but that's probably why we haven't seen him bowl anymore.
Yeah, it's probably because of that. And the last ball, Krishna Karki bowled a very lopping ball.
Here we go. Nothing to lose for the batter. 35 to win off 11. Give it your all. Oh, he's going to walk across his stumps and clip it away for 4. Pretty good start, that. Clever batting as well. Good use of the crease. And this is turning into a very good cameo from Roshan Budal. He's now got 25 off just 17 deliveries. The high score, second highest score of the innings.
Yeah, the ball was angling down the leg side. He comes across, clips the ball to the fine leg boundary for 4 runs. Beautifully done by.
So that is actually Bishal Bikram KC chasing that ball. He's back on. He was off. So he's all right. Could still bowl the final over, of course, in theory. Slower ball. Can't get anything on it. Good piece of keeping as well. The keeper's put his body on the line there. Prajwal Thappi's made sure to get something on it. Saves 4 runs.
Yeah, Krishna Karki mixing his balls. First ball, lobbing the ball. Second ball, a bit straying down the leg side, was glanced for 4 runs. And third ball, a bit quicker but slower ball.
Big swing and a miss, and just no pace to work with. Such clever local knowledge, isn't it, from Krishna Karki? He knows exactly how this wicket will play here on his home ground. And it's the off cutter, it just dies in the wicket. And there's nothing that Roshan Budal can do.
I think Roshan Budal, he has to stay fit out of the crease and just judge the slower ball.
White ball.
This one will be given a wide outside the off stump. Yeah, when you're facing a bowler like Krishna Karki, who bowls so many slower balls, you're almost better setting yourself for the slower delivery. Naturally, you'll react when the quicker one comes down. You might not get 4 or 6 off it, but you'll nudge it around for 1s or 2s. Set yourself for the slower ball, wait and wait and wait, and then hit. And that's what he's tried to do that time, but he's paid the price. Krishna Karki has led his side to victory with a salute, and it's fitting that he takes the winning wicket. The Police Club, they've been bowled all out for 88. They've lost 2 from 2, and they're staring down the barrel of potentially a very early exit from the Fantasy Hadaka Pro Club Championship.
Yeah, Krishna Krake again salutes Nepal Police Club, getting them all out for 88 in 19th over. Our jubilation for the Cricket Association of Rupandehi 11. Yeah, it's a team effort that what they did. In batting, they only scored 117, but the bowling was very good at the spot in the good length.
Signed off with a salute from Krishna Karki. And look at Karan Casey, he's distraught. He knows that his side are in big trouble. They're going to have to win on the final day and hope some results go their other way to have any chance of getting through to the semi-finals. They probably won't just need a win, they'll probably need a big win as well, because it has not been a good day for the Police side. I think they've played pretty poorly, to be honest with you as well. Started well with the ball, had their opposition on their home turf in all sorts of trouble, having lost the toss at 53 for 6, but how they let them get away with things and get up to 117 is pretty disappointing. And the Police Club, look at the body language there, they've got questions to answer. Their skipper Shrestha didn't have his best day either. Despite the excellence of Pawan Saraf with the ball in particular, 4 wickets for him, one of the few high notes for the Police side. They've ended up not just losing, but losing pretty heavily, going down to a 29 run defeat, with Krishna Karki taking the winning wicket. Let's take a look at the highlights from the chase. It really wasn't too much to cheer with the bat. Plenty of wickets to fall. That was the first one. Pawan Saraf wrapped on the pad, and he was wrapped right in front. This was the contentious moment. Dilip Nath was run out, and despite Gulshan Jha hitting a couple of nice boundaries, both through the offside, the first one on the front foot, the second one on the back, really nothing happened in the middle order apart from Shankar Rana's effort. That one was angling down for Jha. And then the catch that maybe changed the game, because Jha was looking so good. It was Vishal Bikram KC. Hopefully he hasn't done too much damage to himself as well by clinging on to that one. This was his second wicket, the 2 in the over that he took. A really good tumbling catch from Tul Bahadur Thapa down at long on. And I thought that the leg spinner bowled beautifully. Nice to see that he had good contributions, and despite a couple of big hits from Shankar Rana, 6 and then 4, just a couple of moments later, Bazir Ahmed dismissed him. LBW, it looked a little high, but Vinay Kumar Jha decided it was out, and after that man went, Shankar Rana, it was a fairly tame procession. Karan KC gone first ball, 1 boundary from Manjit Shrestha, the captain, but he was dismissed pretty soon after, out-thought by his opposite number, Krishna Karki, who loved it and saluted him off the opposite number. A couple of big hits and a good effort all the way down at number 9 from Roshan Budal. Should be promoted up the order, you would think, with the way he played. 3 4s and 1 6, that's the big 6 he hit. Batted very cleverly, used his feet nicely. But then when his 9th wicket partner Chitra Bista was dismissed, clean bowled for 4, despite that leg glance from Budal. This was the winning moment, just hit back to Karki, and it was a 29 run victory for the home side. There's the batting card. Really tame effort altogether. 28 for Rana and 25 for Budal. Outside of that, only Gulshan Jha got into double figures, and you'd have to think his dismissal to Vishal Bikram KC ended up maybe being the turning point. But a good disciplined effort all around. You'd have to give great credit to the Cricket Association of Rupahende 11. I thought they played beautifully at the lower order with their batting, and they backed that up. They took that momentum in and fielded excellently and bowled really nicely too. Wickets were shared around, 2 for Krishna Karki, 2 for Anil Karel, 2 also for Bishal Bikram KC, but he only bowled the 1 over. I think he might have damaged his finger in taking that catch. And then maybe the pick of the bowlers, although he was a bit expensive, 3 for 26, Bashir Ahmed. So what that means is that the home side, in their home conditions, have moved top of the table. They've taken 2 from 2. They've got 4 points. No one else in the whole tournament has 4 points yet. And the Nepal Police Club are going to be staring down the barrel of maybe defeat. A 29-run victory has put them top of the table. And the Police Club will need to win their final game against Malaysia, and they'll also be cheering on the Malaysian 11 against the Push Sports Delhi side. So that's going to wrap it up from up here. We'll get down to Johnny Barron, and we'll take you through the post-match presentation.
Well, thanks, Andrew. It's presentation time for match number 5 of the Fancy Akada Pro Club Championship between the Cricket Association of Rupahende and the Nepal Police Club. Well, what a game of cricket we have had. The CAR 11 have won the toss and elected to bat, and it was hard work, no question about that, as they got to 117 for 8. Thanks largely to 29 of 25 balls from Bishal Bikram and a handy 19 of 12 from Bikram Bhushal. Ryan Saraf, Paran Saraf was the pick of the bowlers with 4 for 4. Was it enough? That was the big question at the halfway stage, and yes, it was, as Nepal Police Club succumbed for 88 with a terrific bowling performance by the CAR 11. Bazir Ahmed with 3 for 26, and of course, well, that all-round performance just continued for Bishal Bikram with 2 for 2. They were both the star performers. So the CAR 11 are 2 from 2 in the tournament so far, and the Nepal Police are none from 2. But still, nobody is out of the group. Let's chat to the losing captain of Nepal Police, Manjit Shrestha. Manjit, you're terrific with the ball today, especially Pawan Saraf.
एकदम राम्रो गर्यो पवन सराफले हैन हाम्रो बलिङ राम्रो भयो फेरि वन्स अगेन हाम्रो ब्याटिङमा चुक्यौं.
The main problem, I guess, was just you couldn't follow up your performance with the ball with your performance with the bat.
ठिकै हो हैन अब क्रिकेट हो हैन त्यही अनुसारले लिएर जाने कोसिस गरेको थियो तर भएन.
But you're still in the competition.
होपफुली अब क्रिकेट हामी चाहिँ अहिले 2 गेममा नराम्रो खेलिरहेको छ हैन अब होपफुली चाहिँ लास्टमा कमब्याक गरेर केही न केही गर्ने लक्ष्यमा छौं.
Manjit Shrestha, thank you very much indeed. And now let's chat to the winning captain of the CAR 11, Krishna Karki. Krishna, fantastic effort with the bat, especially to defend such a low total.
टोटल त्यति खास हुन सकेन त्यही पनि त्यो टोटलमा चाहिँ हाम्रो बलरहरूले निकै नै राम्रो एफर्ट गर्यो र म खुसी छु. आइम ह्यापी.
Did you think 117 would be enough?
त्यस्तो खास थिएन. हाम्रो टार्गेट चाहिँ 130 सम्म लिएर जाने थियो हैन तर चाहिँ म चाहिँ मेरो बलरमाथि चाहिँ म भरोसा थिए कन्फिडेन्ट थिए कि तिनीहरूले चाहिँ डिफेन्ड गर्छ भनेर.
And you must have been very happy with your bowling attack. They bowled superbly today.
Yes, त्यही यङ स्पेशली यङ केटाहरूले चाहिँ धेरै नै राम्रो गरेको छ. आइ एम सो ह्यापी फर द्याट.
And then, Matt, you must be absolutely delighted. You're sitting top of the group, 2 from 2. You're looking very promising to go through to the next stage.
हो चाहिँ हामीहरु चाहिँ साइड टेबल टप गरिसकेको छौं सो हामीहरु चाहिँ धेरै खुसी छौं. Very happy for that.
Krishna Karki, fantastic stuff. He's the captain, of course, of the CAR 11. I'll be very happy with the 2 wins from 2. We now go to man of the match time, and I'd like to welcome our special guest over here. who is the treasurer of the Cricket Association Nepal, Mr. Roshan Singh. Thank you, Roshan. Roshan really does a terrific amount of work behind the scenes for the Cricket Association, and it's great to have him here. Roshan, you're very, very welcome. So the man of the match, and obviously it does come from the CAR 11, and with, well, 29 off 25, and also 2 wickets off that 1 over for 2. The man of the match is Bishal Bikram. Bishal, terrific effort with bat and then with ball. You must be really happy.
Yeah, it feels quite happy to perform for the team with both bat and ball.
And did you feel the responsibility coming in at such a critical stage when your side were in trouble? You must have been delighted with the way in which you got up to a total that you then defended.
Yeah, we're looking for a total around 120, which we achieve. We can achieve just by playing singles, double, not playing our versus shorters.
And then that over of yours, it really changed the complexion of the game.
Yeah, just depend upon the batsman. They opponent batsmen got in a hurry, so they lose wickets, quick wickets.
And overall, this is really set up for you now. 2 really good wins back to back. You must be feeling very confident.
Yeah, feel quite confident and hope we will win next match as well.
Fantastic, thank you very much, and congratulations on your Man of the Match award. Terrific stuff from Bishal Bikram. Great stuff. And back to Andrew upstairs as we conclude the presentations.
Well, thank you, Johnny. And lovely to hear from the player of the match. He was outstanding, wasn't he? He bowled really nicely in that 1 over. I hope his finger injury is okay. But I thought that all-round Bishal Bikram KC was fantastic. He clawed things back with the bat with that innings of 29 off 25 balls. Good news, though. Just the first game in the can. We've got one more to come this afternoon. 2 games every day here at the Fantasy Akara Pro Club Championship 2022. Game number 6 on match day 3. It's going to move across to Group B. It'll be the Nepal Army side taking on the talent hunt CA Dhaka. Do come and join us for every ball. We'll be on air live on AP1 HD at about 1:50 p.m.